DJ Super Blaze. It's in the mix.
I don't wanna act too high and mighty, cause tomorrow I may fall down on my face. Lord, thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day.
Check.
It's a beautiful day. I don't wanna act too high.
You know what it is, man? It's the Autonomous Party Podcast, and make sure it's your boy Super Blaze tapping in real quick. As you pull up real quick, you know what it is, man. Housekeeping. Hit that like button. Subscribe, share if it's your first time here. You know what it is, man. Let's do this.
Thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain.
It's a beautiful day. Super Bowl. That's what they say. I don't even know.
Sometimes life
I
is
tapped out.
good, but then the trouble comes my way. But whatever happens, Lord, I thank you for this day. When I'm feeling troubled, I lift my hands and pray that you will be done in the rain or sun. No, it's a beautiful day.
I don't wanna act too high and mighty, cause tomorrow I may fall down on my face. Lord, thank you for sunshine.
Shout out to Love on Purpose. What up, mama?
Thank you for joy. Thank you for
Thanks for tapping in early as usual.
It's a beautiful day. Thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day.
Peace. Anthony Marie. Peace. Free Cream Money. What up?
I give the thanks
Keep it
when
rap.
I'm feeling
Peace.
lonely. I give the thanks when I'm feeling glad.
Tap in. Come
I
on.
give the thanks in the morning and the thanks in the evening and the thanks when I'm feeling
Gotta put the
sad.
Super Bowl on the screen. I'm gonna bring my HDMI cord. You're gonna have to watch the game on the iPad, my G. It's a beautiful day indeed. I'm pressing too many buttons right now up here, as you can see. Let's go. It is what it is, man. It happens sometimes. I have to hold that record. Like, don't go no further than that. I'm gonna play the next one. I heard what was gonna happen on that side. Super Blaze campaign mix, man. Tap in. You know what it is. What up, Smooth?
Walk the slides, walk the eye, why is why, till we fry, watch us all, stand in line, folks like some devil pie. Drugs and thugs, with the wine, 3 or 4 at a time, watch them all, stand in line, folks like some devil pie. Who am I to justify all of you in our eye? I myself feel the high of all that I despise. Behind the jail or in the grave, I have to live. It's better me. And if I die before I wait, I hope the Lord don't hesitate. Get to heaven, went through hell. Tell my peeps.
Isn't that Inky's prayer?
All them fools, sold for sale.
Is that what they say? Is that what they call Inky's prayer?
Huh? King scream in my head, on my head, on my bed. If I hung, let me hear, get this benefit. Off the slides, won't buy, why is why, till we fry. Watch us all, stand in line, folks like some devil pie. Bang, bang, bang.
As we say in the Caribbean community, pull up, pull it up. One more time for the top, man. It's D'Angelo. Devil's pie. I don't want no slice. I want the whole pie. Let's go, man. Tap in. Super Blaze campaign mix, baby. Let's go.
Walk the slides, walk the pie. Why is why, till we fry. Watch us all, stand in line. Folks like some devil pie. Drugs and thugs, women, wine, 3 or 4 at a time. Watch them all, stand in line, folks like some devil's pie. Who am I? Justify all the evil in our eyes. I myself feel the high of all that I despise. Behind the jail or in the grave, I have to leave. Spit I made. And if I die before I wait, I hope the Lord don't hesitate. Get to heaven, went through hell. Tell my peeps, all is well. And all them fools, souls for sale, sitting next to Jezebel. Hear the scream in my head, on my head, on my bed. If I heart, let me hear, get this benefit. Fuck the slides, won't buy, why is why, till we fry. Watch the song, stay in line, folks like some devil's pie. Drugs and thugs, women, wine, 3 or 4 at a time. Watch them all, stay in line, folks like some devil's pie. Mainly greens to this dish goes like this. Here's the list: materialistic, greed and lust, jealousy, envious, bread and dough, chest cheese, flash stash, cat and cream, temperatures, high degree, niggas come feast. What is this all about? Apocalypse, ain't no doubt. Everybody's holding out, all the loot, all the clout. Right or wrong, we do or die. Only vengeance can pacify.
One time for DJ Smooth. You know what it is, man. Music Media Lounge. You can check her out right here. Weekdays, weekends, damn near 24 hours a day. You know what it is, man. Smoothie. Be locking down the Media Lounge, you know?
Women, wine, 3 or 4 at a time. Watch them all, stay in line, folks like some devil's pie. I'm trying to eat.
Can I live to my last day? Hitting honeys that be nasty. Getting money in the fast way. And I only care halfway.
It's my era, baby. Come on, let's go.
Let you pass me.
You will speak to you. We niggas with hoodies and bats. That ain't shit compared to one small cat with gats. When we came here, we cut off all kinds of circulation. Breathing, eating, the whole situation. When we do our shit for real. While you take your money for your deal and make your own beats. Compose your own sheets, that's alright for chill. I'ma spin that mill and cop only hot shit. Drop toxic, you know how the locks get. Then you can see me flying in the Bentley cockpit, locked in PI. Hold our clique out down for years. Gang nah, but we been had our black heads. Niggas under the stairs only understand what we got. Underground, all above must get shot. You couldn't book me, Dano. Chick Luciano put the burners to all y'all. What nigga bringing them, calling
You already know what it's about when I run up in your house. Put the gun up in your mouth and get the money out the couch. Hearing you out is senseless. Perhaps, for instance, I give this faggot a French kiss. Black gloves, no prints, dark tints. Word on the street, they ain't heard from them since. You know about life after kicking the kid in. Since me and my mid-end, the flip 7 grid am, the flow is forbidden. Either you riding or you dying, cause we swinging iron. Locks and popper, turning niggas in the gym hopper. Who gon' stop us? Your last joint double copper. You getting money or you running from the feds? Ain't nothing over here but 16 with one in the head. And I solemnly swear that all y'all niggas out there got a problem this year.
Can I live to my last day? Come on.
Honeys that be nasty.
You know what it is, man. When it comes to that time, I party, man. We represent that real hip hop. You can always come to us for the real. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
In the fast way, and I only care halfway, but I still can't let you pass me.
You got anybody from New York in the chat real quick?
We did it like that and now we do it like this. We did it like that and now we do it like this.
Yeah. Now clock kids who got the cocaine. Don't tell me it's the little kids on Soul Train. The metaphor sent from my brain to my jaw. It comes from other places, not the tinted faces. Journalistic volumes are yellow and then of course falters. You watch Channel Zero with that bitch Marvel Alters. She have you believe black invented crack when President Lyndon had the formula way back in 63 with Kennedy. Yes, the double cross. Remember that's when they blow his fucking head off. Vietnam vets come back looking like one-arm pets. Nixon bombs pure text. No picket flats. White he can sell on the corners of Bushwick. White he can sell on the corners of Flatbush. White tees can sell on the corners of Bed-Stuy. Pass the torch to that nigga guy. So just die, nigga. Die, nigga. You're too black. You can't handle. You're too strong. Get high. 5 o'clock next boost your steel. In 95 we take back Evansville.
Let's take it back.
Brooklyn, traveling distance to party. Brooklyn, abstinent functions, not hardly. Brooklyn, the name alone holds godly. You don't know, you better ask somebody. Crackfield Street since 85, the beats getting paid to not bust. Hookers' jaws got crust. Class clapping regular. Hardcore niggas with fat gold chains. On the corner maintaining. Gold teeth flashing. Stick up kids playing in front of Latin quarters. Keep home your daughters. Cause if bullets fly, watch the flaming. Ignorant ducks are shooting wildin'. They're not aiming one Easter. Now to think about it, what a pity. 5 people died in front of Skate City. Sisters back then, you was ill if you had a gun. People dashing, flashing. Damn, no fun. All be square, you couldn't shop you much. Cause Fort Greene would hit you right the fuck on up. You had you or die. East New York, mad hell. Fellas cutting school, trooping the all go Maxwell. So many memories I can't manifest your route. Start where I finish at the Brooklyn, God bless.
You represent crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Represent the Brooklyn all night. Crazy ass Brooklyn kids. Because it is about Rockefeller, y'all.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Check. Yo, I'm making short-term goals when the weather falls. Just put away the leathers and put ice on the gold. Chilly with enough bell money to free a big Willie. High stakes, I got more at stake than Philly. Shopping sprees, copping 3 dudes fever, yeses, fully loaded, yes. Bouncing in the Lex Luger, tire smoke like Buddha. 50 G's to the crap shooter. Niggas can't fade me. Chrome socks beaming through my peripheral. I see you scheming. Stop dreaming, I leave your body steaming. Niggas is fiending, what's the meaning? I'm leaning on any nigga intervening with the sound of my money machining. My cup runneth over with hundreds. I'm one of the best niggas that done it. 6 digits and running, y'all niggas don't want it. I got the Godfather flow, the Don Juan, the Marco. Swear to God, don't get it fucked up.
Taking up this time to give you
What?
peace of my mind.
Cause you can't knock the hustle.
But do you think you are?
Damn.
Baby, one day you'll be a star.
That scene out of state where I drop my sling. I'm deep in the south, kicking up top game. Bouncing on the highway, switching 4 lanes. Screaming through the sunroof, money ain't a thing. The worst fear confirmed. Me and my fam roll tight like the firm. Getting down for life, strap. You better learn why I play with fire, you burn. We get together like a choir to acquire what we desire. We do dirt like worms, produce G's like sperm. Till legs spread like germs. I got extensive.
That's the right fire plush.
Expensive clothes and I sit fine.
F that Super Bowl.
This flows, but y'all know.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, cause you can't knock the hustle.
Just distraction, you know what I mean?
They think I'm the one who's crazy.
They ain't getting my energy tonight.
The way you're making me
I'm gonna tap in though.
You can't knock the hustle.
But my heart ain't in it, you know what I mean? My heart ain't in the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest to y'all.
Yeah, y'all niggas lunching, punching the clock. My function is to make munchin', lay back munchin', sipping Remy on the rocks. My crew, something to watch.
Peace. What up, Trell?
Unstoppable, scheme on the ice. I gotta hot your crew. I gotta let you niggas know the time like my bottle, my motto. Stack rocks like a waddle off the champagne crystals by the bottle. It's a damn shame what you're not though. Me, slick like a gato, fucking Jay-Z. My pops knew exactly what he did when he made me. He tried to get a nut and he got a nut and what? Straight bananas, can a nigga see me? Got the US Open, advantage jigger. Serve like Sampras, play fake rappers like a campus. The Tigra, son, you're too eager. You ain't having it? Good, me either. Let's get together and make this whole world believers, huh? At my arraignment, screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment. Until we even, leaving, as long as I'm breathing. Can't
What he just said.
nigga eating, fuck you even.
Taking up this time
As he's part owner of the Barclays
of my mind.
of the Brooklyn Nets, right?
But do you think you are?
But right.
Baby, one day you'll be a star. But until then, they think I'm
killers and $100 billers. For real, niggas who ain't got no feelings. Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Check it out now. I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. Tomorrow comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land, we be gunning. And keep them shook crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to. I can see it inside your face, you're in the wrong place. Cowards like you just get their whole body laced up with bullet holes and such. Speak the wrong words, man, and you will get touched. You can put your whole army against my team, and I guarantee you it'll be your very last time breathing. Your simple words just don't move me. You're minor, we major. You're all up in the game and don't deserve to be a player. Don't make me have to call your name out. Your crew is featherweight. My gunshots will make you levitate. I'm only 19, but my mind is older. When the things get turns up, nigga deceased. Another story is told, it ain't nothing really. And yo, done sparked the Philly, so I can get my mind off these yellow back niggas. While they still alive, I don't know. Go fix me. Backing means a realness and foundation. If I die, I couldn't choose a better location. When the slugs penetrate, you feel a burning sensation, getting closer to God in a tight situation. Now, take these words home and think it through. Or the next rhyme I write might be about you. Son, they shook. This ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look. They shook. This ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look. Living a life that is diamonds and guns. There's numerous ways you can choose to earn funds. Some get shot, locked down, and turn nuns. Cowardly hearts and straight up shook ones. He ain't a crook, son. He just a shook one. For every rhyme I write, it's 25 to life. There was so much gas to trust, safeguarding my life. Ain't no time for hesitation, that only leads to incarceration. You don't know me, there's no relation. Queensbridge, if you don't play, I don't got time for your petty thinking mind. Son, I'm bigger than those. Claiming that you pack heat, but you're scared to hold. And when the smoke clears, you be left with one and you don't. 13 years in the projects, my mentality is what, kid? You talk a good one, but you don't want it. Sometimes I wonder, do I deserve to live? Or am I going to burn to hell for all the things I did? No time to dwell on that, cause my brain reacts. Front if you want, kid, lay on your back. I don't fake gas, kid, you know I bring it to your life. Stay in the child, kid, battle. Criminal mind, thirsty for recognition. Sipping, E&J got my mind flipping. I'm fucking, I'm out without a hope for hustling. Get that loot, kid, you know my function. As long as I'm alive, I'ma live illegal. And once I get on them, I put on all my peoples. React with lyrics like Max, I hit your dome up. When I roll up the beat, go sleep because I'm free. Son, they shook, this ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look, they shook. This ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look, they shook. This ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. Scared to death and scared to look, they shook. This ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. That's
it. Yeah, sending this one out to my man Killer B. No,
Yeah, tap in. It's your boy Mac K to be in the building. You heard? Let's tap in. Let's go.
There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. You could run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no such things as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks in my part of town. It's similar to Vietnam. Now we all grown up and old and be on the cops' control. They better have the riot gear ready. Trying to back me and get rock steady. By the Mac 1 double, I touch you and leave you with not much to go home with. My skin is thick, cause I'll be up in the mix of action. If I'm not at home, puffin' live, relaxing. New York got a nigga depressed, so I wear a slug proof underneath my guest. God bless my soul. Before I put my foot down and begin to stroll into the drama I built. And all unfinished beef, you will soon be killed. Put us together, it's like mixing vodka and milk. I'm going out blasting, taking my enemies with me. And if not, they scars so they sending this one out to my man Killer B. No doubt, indeed.
Yeah, local Bill saying, pull that up. You don't hear this every day, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna get all this time no more, you heard? Tap in.
There's a war going on outside, no man is safe from. You could run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walking with your head down, scared to look. You shook, cause ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. They never around when the beef cooks in my part of town. It's similar to Vietnam. Now we all grown up and old and be on the cops' control. They better have the riot gear ready. Trying to back me and get rock steady. By the Mac 1 double, I touch you and leave you with not much to go home with. My skin is thick, cause I'll be up in the mix of action. If I'm not at home, puffin' live, relaxing. New York got a nigga depressed, so I wear a slug proof underneath my guest. God bless my soul. Before I put my foot down and begin to stroll into the drama I built. And all unfinished beef, you will soon be killed. Put us together, it's like mixing vodka and milk. I'm going out blasting, taking my enemies with me. And if not, they scar so they will never forget me. Lord forgive me, the Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. I'm falling and I can't turn back. Or maybe it's the words from my man Killer Black that I can't say, so what's left untold.
Tap in, let go.
My death, my goals to stay alive. Survival of the fit, only the
Strong survive. That maroon shit right here, you heard? Strong survive. Come on. Shout out my indigenous people out there across the nation, you heard? Only the strong survive, you heard?
In between two worlds, trying to get dope, you know where the dope and load the juice go. But never that, as long as fiends smoke crack, I'll be on the block hustling, count my stacks. No doubt, watching my back and proceed with caution. 5-4 working, no time to get lost in. The system niggas using fake names to get out quick. My brother did it and got back with 2 ounces. I live with one with squads, hit the block, oh, that's my man Twin. When he got back, I fucked me up.
Oh, snap.
Shit happens for a reason.
Matt came with a full clip tonight.
When you're upstate bleeding.
Ready.
Shorty the truth, the big with you. Hit with a
full stack tonight.
Cool. While on the streets, I try to maintain. Tight with my Lucas hoes like to run game. Some niggas like to trip, but I ain't with that trickin' shit. I'm like a Jew, saving those who I can bet with, pushing the Lex. Now I'm set, ready to check. No matter how much loot I get, I'm staying in the projects forever. Jake's on the blocks, we out clever. If beef, we never separate, pull together. When words come to work, so my peoples come first. Try to react and get the motherfucker feeling certain. My crew's all about blue, fuck looking cute. I'm flipping tip hoops and army certified suits, puffin' nails, laid back, enjoy the smell. In the bridge, getting down, it ain't hard to tell. You better realize we live this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. We live this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. We live this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. We live this till the day that we die. Survival of the fit, only the strong survive. Next time, I put my life.
Seeing it all,
let's go.
Been through it all, yo. Let y'all niggas know right now. Word of mother for real.
Gotta play from the top.
That's it, the truth.
Since we playing Mob Deep, let's do this, man.
I put my lifetime in between the paper's lines. I'm the quiet storm nigga who fight rhyme. P, yeah, you heard of him, but I ain't concerned with them. Nigga, I pop more guns than you holding them. Make my route while the sun's out.
Little Mob Deep roll up break. You know what I mean?
Broad daylight, get right. Fuck your life. Hop on my
Get back in the mix in a minute. Let's go.
Stop minds from growing. I make your blood stop flowing. Take affirmative action to any ass if he asking. Now here come the max in. Use a dick blower. Trying to speak the done language. What the drilly with that though? It ain't banging. You hooked on mob phonics. Infamous phonics. Lying to the pop dog like you got it. You ain't no wildin' out for the night. Fist thrower. Rusty shank holder. We live this shit.
It's the real shit to make them feel shit. Lump them in the club shit. Have you out and out. Bump this. Drugs in your eardrum. The raw uncut. Have a nigga OD cause it's never enough. It's the real shit to make them feel shit. Lump them in the club shit. Have you out and out. Bump this. Drugs in your eardrum. The raw uncut. Have a nigga OD cause it's never enough.
Yo, the P-Rock 40-inch cables. Drinking white label. My chain hang down on my dick. My piece bang glass tables. Diamonds and guns before the fame, Duke. A nigga like me hold checks. Are you the same too? Going through the emotions. A gun holding. Long shotguns down my pants leg limping. Killer B, you still living. Even my pops too. He taught me how to shoot when I was 7. I used to butt shots crazy. I couldn't even look because the loud sound used to scare me. I love my pops for that. I love my niggity black. I take the life of anybody trying to change what's left. And through all of that, a nigga ain't scared to death. All y'all brand new niggas just scared to death. I spent too many nights sniffing coke, getting right, wasting my life. Now I'm trying to make things right. Grand open some gates, invest with the black business, do things for the kids, the little done. Build a jungle gym behind the crib so they can enjoy youth. CBRs and VCRs, ATVs and big.
I don't know what that was, cuz.
Please, don't make me have to risk my freedom. We worked our whole life for this. You get your shit beaten.
Super Blaze campaign mix, man. Come on, let's do it.
The real shit to make you feel shit. Lump them in the club shit. Have you out in that when you bump this? Drugs in your eardrum, the raw uncut. Have a nigga OD, cause it's never enough.
It go 1, 2, 3 to the 4th. That nigga P double got that shit for y'all's people's the rock suit. Stirring up pots of brew in Hell's Kitchen. I chef the impossible to serve hot plates all across the unified states. Sit down and sup with the top rap reps. We the streets just watching boy move diligent. You better walk like the nigga on the tightrope. Infamous 1st Infantry, 1st Division, 4th Mission. First assignment, give them that shit they been missing. My new additions, way bitching. Those that listen, get addicted to my diction. Fuck rhymes, I write prescriptions. For your disease, generic raps just not potent like peas. 1,100 cc's on the throttle. I peel off, chest naked on katanas. Spaghetti head, mob niggas is full bread. Fully blown melanin.
I bet. See, so we went in on Mob Deep this week.
So I could put
next week.
more product out on the street.
All right, bet.
Your respect and love.
We're gonna go in on
Been adored.
Onyx next week. I'm gonna make sure I prep some Onyx next week. It won't be no freestyle shit. I don't, you know what I mean?
Just now.
Show homage to
Feel shit, lump them in the club.
some of them groups out there that did it, man. Real talk.
Cause it's never enough. It's the real shit to make them feel shit. Lump them in the club shit.
Shout out to De La Soul. I heard we lost one. All right, bet. Send that to me real quick, Mac. I heard we lost one. I was gonna make that joint, but it's all good. I'll just pull it up real quick. Let's go.
Mercy. Mercy. Ego trip. Ego trip. Mercy. Ego trip. Ego trip. Mercy. Fire! Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze.
Rest in peace. True joy. You know what it is, man. We lost one. De La Soul. My boy was young, 54 years young. Oh.
Relax yourself, girl, reset plan. 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 Relax yourself.
All right, back in the mix.
Relax yourself, girl, reset plan.
Honey, check it out, you got me mesmerized. With your black hair and your fat ass style. Street poetry is my everyday. But yo, I gotta stop when you drop my way. If I was working at the club, you would not pay. Hey yo, my man Fight Biggie, he got something to say.
I like them brown, yellow, Puerto Rican, and Haitian. Name is Fight Dog from the Zulu Nation. So you're in the jam that weekend.
I like him Jamaican too.
Let's knock the boots like the group H-Town. You got BPD all on your bedroom wall. But I'm above the rim and this is how I ball. A gritty little something on a New York street. This is how I represent over this here beat. Talking about you.
Yo, I took you out. But sex was on my mind for the whole damn route. My mind was in a frenzy in a horny state.
We losing our brothers out.
That's cause you couldn't,
man.
Relax yourself, girl, reset.
You couldn't relate.
Relax yourself, girl, reset.
You couldn't relate.
Relax yourself, girl, reset plan. Relax yourself, girl, reset plan. Relax yourself, girl, reset plan. Relax yourself, girl, reset plan.
Stretch out your legs, let me make you fall. Drive you insane, drive you up the wall. Staring at your own piece, very strong. Stronger than pride, stronger than Teflon. Take it on the ab and you buy me links. Now I want a pound of food thing until it stinks. You could be my mama and I'll be your boy.
Original rude boy, never am I coy. You could be a shorty in my ill convoy. Not to come across as a thug or a hood. But hun, you got the good, like Madeline Wood. By the way, my name's Malik, the 5-foot freak. They say we get together by the end of the week. She simply said no, label me a hoe. I said, how you figure? My friends tell me so. I hate when silly groupies wanna run their yacht. Word to God, hun, I don't get down like that.
I'll have you weak in the knees that you can hardly speak. Or we could do like Uncle Ella swinging after my G. Keep it on the down, yo, we keep it discreet. See, I'm not the type of kid to have my biz in the streets.
If my mom don't approve, then I'll just elope. Let me take the little man from inside the boat. Let me hit it from the back, girl, I won't catch a hernia. Bust off on your couch, now you got Siemens furniture. Furniture.
Shy E Fife and the Extra P. Stacy Beagle, PJ, and my man LG. They know the ass jack is really so on ice. The character is a man, never ever a mice. Shorty, let me tell you about my only vice. It has to do with lots of loving, and it ain't nothing nice.
Relax yourself, girl. Be set.
It ain't nothing nice.
Relax yourself, girl. Be set.
It ain't nothing nice.
Relax yourself.
Yeah, you listen to this playlist.
Relax yourself, girl. Be set. Relax yourself, girl. Be set. Relax yourself, girl. Be set.
Hey yo,
Relax yourself, girl. Be set. Relax yourself, girl. Be set.
hey yo, Dizzy Gillespie plays a sax. Me, myself, I love to mag. Red bone booties, I'm out to wag. Stick up kids, it's out to tag. Spring again, and I'm feeling fine. Pass me a nice cold glass of wine, so I can get mellow. Lay back and let my girl play the cello. Hello, I hate jello, let me be me. Relax in my TV, watch a Hardy Boy mystery. Greg Nice, I'm Nitro, and I'm hype, so don't ever believe that you can deceive me. See many visions of love and splendor. I'm the real thing, not like a pretender. I rock rhymes over beats on a real tip. Stay real strong and hang on like a vice grip. Use my mind to control all my body parts. Got an early start, plus I'm very smart. Type of man that the girls wanna read about. Indeed, I proceed to rock the house without a doubt. Stepping up next, no further ado. Smooth beats gonna make it real funky for you.
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Super Blaze.
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. I'm sweeter and thicker than a Chico stick. Here's an ice cream cone, honey, take a lick. I'll go to Bay Plaza and catch a flick. Want my Timberland boots so I can stomp the ticks. Scandalous, get a whip for this miss. Just left for y'all, boy, now I'm blessed. I feel good, per se, good state of mind. Drive a red Sterling and the seats recline. I love it when a late tea treats me kind. Go to tavern on the green and have a glass of wine. He say, she say, I heard it through the grapevine. No static, got an automatic. Too much of anything makes you an addict. Teasing, squeezing, also pleasing. Don't ask why, I got my own reasons. Smooth beat, great, nice, slick, nick, click. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I rhyme slow,
Don't sweat
sometimes
the
I rhyme quick.
technique.
I was on 125 in St. Nick, waiting on a cab, standing in the rain.
Yeah, you
under
listen
my
to
heart
this
with 3 clouds of pain. She got the best of me. What was her destiny? Maybe I should lick her with my 9mm. My mind is in a blur, cause you could never pay me to think this would occur. Me and this girl Jane Doe was living together. We were inseparable, no one could sever. At least that's what I thought, but later I fought with a substance and almost ended up in Supreme Court. When I was on the road doing shows, getting ends, she was in my Benz getting snippy with her friends. And even when she crashed my whip, I didn't flip. My man Slick Nick said, smooth, you're starting to slip. Time went on, I started noticing weight loss. Then I had to ask her, was she riding a white horse? At first she said no. Then she said, yo, Smooth, I'm sorry, but I keep having visions of snow, I need blow. And I said, whoa, little hottie, I'm not DeLorean, Gambino, or Gotti. I don't deal coke, and furthermore, you're making me broke. I'll put you in a rehab and I won't tell your folks. And what do you know? At 18 months, she came home and I let her back in. And now she's sniffing again. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick. Sometimes I rhyme slow, sometimes I rhyme quick.
Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique.
Bang, bang, bang.
Don't sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. File. Let's face the hits. Check the file. Let's see who bit the dissect the style. I flip the script so it can't get filed. At least not now. It'll take a while. I change the pace to complete the beat. I drop the bass to MCs get weight. For every word they trace is a scar they keep. It's when I speak. They freak to sweat the technique.
I made my debut in '86 with a melody and a president's mix, and I'll stay on target and refuse to miss. And I still make hits and beats, parties, clubs, and cars and jeeps. My underground sound vibrates the streets. MCs wanna beat, then I play for keeps. When they sweat the technique. Don't sweat the technique. They wanna know how many bombs have I ripped and wrecked, but researchers never found all the pieces yet. Scientists try to solve the context, philosophers are wondering what's next. Pieces took the lab to observe them. They couldn't absorb them, they didn't deserve them. My ideas are only for the audience ears. My opponents, it might take years. Pencil, pens, and swords, letters put together from a beat cause. I'm also a sculpture, born with structure. Because of my culture, I'm a wicked instructor. Technical style that'll be full of technology, complete sights and new heights after I get deep. You don't have to speak, just see. Keep the technique. But don't sweat the technique.
Yo, check it. Call Lil C, tell that motherfucker to bring me some motherfucking weed to the hospital. Fuck that. Tell that before he go pick up 10,000 from Dez, go check him out like 20 G's from Gina. Tell that motherfucker to get this nigga next door up out of here. Nigga be showing all night. I can't sleep. Call that big butt nurse with the long hair to come suck my dick. The doctor said I need about 3 weeks of recovery. But the nurses is loving me, saying the best part of the day is my half. Feeding me breakfast and giving me a sponge bath. Niggas say I died dead in the streets. Nigga, I'm getting high, getting head on the beach. Chillin', sitting on about 500,000. With all my niggas, all my guns, all my women. Next 2 years, I should see about $1 billion. All for the love of drug dealers. Got no love for the other side, fuck them tricks. Any repercussion, Junior Mafia spit clip all the time. Big Papa kick the raw rhymes, raw flows, and that's how it goes.
This for my niggas slinging things.
Let me check in with the chat real quick. What up?
This igloo ringing things for the bitches who see them rims.
Shout to Bree. What up?
Shit with the B trimmed and wings.
Right next, the Prince.
On the road to the riches.
My New York family. What up, bro?
Niggas to kill, then birds the bag. Get the jeweler and splurge the tap. Hops out the truck like trick.
Shout to David Bell.
On if you suck.
Salute, salute.
When I nut, that's the end of us. Get your friend to fuck, twist and bend her up. You know the deal, niggas talking real easy on some ballin' shit. Funny how quick these bricks we get. Acting like I ain't the reason they traded they shit. Switch that 5, cop that 6. It's all good, you know who the clone is. Fuck the Joneses, niggas trying to keep up with the cone. Come on. We are. What's his name? He is. Come on. What's his name?
Do that cool bitch, keep a glass filled to the rim. The notorious K.I. to the M. That's me, the MTV, no doubt. Titty out.
It's a little cold out here in Florida today, you know?
Y'all know my attitude. Can't stand my cologne.
Little high 60s.
You and your chaperone. Things done changed.
That's cool for us.
As the king and the queen of hip hop.
Out here in South Florida.
White still a center of attention. I'm by side with the chrome.
Where y'all at in the chat right now? Let me know where y'all at and how cold it is up there. Where y'all at, wherever y'all at. West Coast, East Coast. What state y'all at? Where y'all from?
Switching our styles like the hottest new dances. See, I let y'all live and stack a little paper. Be glad I pushed my album back. I did y'all hoes a favor.
Come on now. What's his name? Notorious. He is. We are. Come on. Notorious. We are. Queen B, baby. We are. Come on. Notorious. He is. P.I.G. baby. He is. Come on. Notorious. We are. Bad boy. 2000. Notorious. P.I.G. born again. He is. And he won't stop.
I was a terror since the public school era. Bathroom passes, cutting classes, squeezing asses. Smoking blunts was a daily routine since 13. A chubby nigga on the scene.
For real, for real. Shout out to my real life cousin though. Notorious B.I.G. I ain't looking no clout, none of that. Shout out to the Wallaces. You know what I mean? The entire Zion Hill. The Nobles, my fam, you know what I mean? You know what it is.
bubble goose.
Who knows?
In my knapsack, lounging black, smoking sacks.
Ain't no bragging shit.
Sidekicks with my sidekicks, rocking fly kicks. Honeys wanna chat, but all we wanna know is where the party at. And can I bring my cat? If not, I hope I don't get shot. Better throw my vest on my chest. These niggas is a mess. It don't take nothing but front for me to start bucking and bucking at niggas like I was duck hunting. Dumbing out just me and my crew, cause all we wanna do is bullshit, and we party, and bullshit, and we party, and bullshit, and we party, and bullshit.
Shout to Syracuse, New York. What up? What up? How cold it is up there? 31.
Hugs from the honeys, pound from the roughnecks. See my man saying that I knew from the projects. Said he had beef, asked me if I had my piece. Sure do, 222s in my shoes. Holla if you need me, love, I'm in the house. Roaming stroke.
See, it's cold outside, but it's getting hot in here now. You know what I mean? It's...
Poppin', ain't no stopping, Big Papa, I'm a bad boy. Niggas wanna front, who got your back? Niggas wanna flex, who got the gap? It ain't hard to tell, I'm the East Coast overdoser. Nigga, you're scared, you're supposed to. Nigga, I toast you. Put fear in your heart. Fuck up the party before it even starts. Is he drunk off a Henny and stuff? Or some brand Nubian shit beating down pump? We party and bullshit. That's that. We party and bullshit. And 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 we party and bullshit.
Peace to everybody in the chat, you heard?
And bullshit.
Let go.
Bitches in the back looking righteous in a tight dress. I think I might just hit her with a little Biggie 101. How to tote a gun and have fun with Jamaican rum conversation. Blunts in rotation. My man Big Jock got the Glock in his waist and we're smoking, drinking. Got the hooker thinking. If money smells bad, then this nigga big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hookers eating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's leave calm. I'm hitting skins again. Rolled up another blunt, bought a Heineken. Niggas start to low out. A kid got choked out, clothes were stoned, and a fucking fight broke out. Yo, chill, man, chill. Can't we just all get along so I can put hickeys on her chest like little Sean? Get a pissy drunk off a Dom Perignon, and it's on, and I'm gone. That's that.
Get off my ground. You don't know me and you don't know my style. Who be getting down when they come to a jam? Here I am, the Mac man. Patty cake, hey, the Mac man. No need to skip, be jet for Peter Pan. Peanut butter, cause I'm not butter. In fact, I snap back like a rubber band. I be Sam.
What's the Super Bowl score right now? Last time I checked, Philly up. You heard me? Philly up. You know what I'm saying? We're going to stick with Philly tonight. I call it. It's my bet. It's my bet. Philly. Let's go. Chiefs, Philly. Black History Month. 24-21. We up right now, Philly. Let's ride. Let's go. Let's hold it. Let's go.
Get off my ground. You don't know me and you don't know my style. Who be getting down when they come to a jam? Here I am, the Mac man. Patty cake, hey, the Mac man. No need to skip, be jet for Peter Pan. Peanut butter, cause I'm not butter. In fact, I snap back like a rubber band. I be Sam I am, and I don't eat green eggs and ham. Down the hit ya, when they got there, you'll be like, oh shit, that's the jam. Turn it up, now hear me get up, wild, I'm about to blow, light me up. Upside, down shot, inside and outside, hitting you from every angle, there's no doubt. The one and only Method Man, the master of the plan, rapping shit like Sharan. Rap with some of this and some of that. Hold on, what? I thought I saw a putty back over there. But I think he matched to be there with a biggie dog shit right here. Yippee dead, dog. Yo, like that said, this is your average flow. Coming like raw. Ooh, Chico. Tell me how you like it so far, baby boy. The poetry's in motion, coast to coast. Rub it on your skin like lotion. What's the commotion? Oh my lord. Another corn chop by the Wu-Tang sword. Hey, like that. It's the Method Man, ain't no ifs, ands, or clouds. It's the Method right right, y'all. Get your White House, get your mouth, get your skins. Don't forget your orny, and we gonna do it like this. I got fat bags of skunk. I got white apple good, and I'm about to go get lifted. Yes, I'm about to go get lifted. I got myself a 40, I got myself a shorty, and I'm about to go and stick it. Yes, I'm about to go and stick it. Ain't you out that pop, and I pop like stuff when the cold winds blowing soon. I hit the mic like boom. Brothers all about it like they hear it every go. Question, what exactly is a party raid? Your behavior, savior, or project closer? All of the above, oh yeah, plus I do so. Also playing in the man, call me super. Not an average Joe, with an average flow. Do an average thing, with an average hoe. Yeah, I'm super, I make a bitch squirt for my super. Check it, I give it to you more one naked. I smell sex past the method. Let's get lit there, I keep ballistic. Missiles that shoot game like a pistol. Clip is loaded when I take a Wu-Tang slow hit your brain. J-U-M-P jump and I bump. Make those works like pumping, humpty hump. Wow, the Shelly style is holding me. Child, the whole damn L is calling me. B-A-N-T-Y, R-A-I, B-E-R, Mac raw. I don't cry, meaning no one can burn or toss and turn me. Ooh, I'll be the super sperm. Motherfuckers like bleach to each and every throat. You can't like the right throat. Yo, damn boss, and I'm awesome. That you didn't have it's to be kidding.
All right, we got like one or two more to go before we tap in with Mac real quick
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang Clan
on the Super Bowl Sunday. You know what it is, man. Yeah, time was party. Ain't nothing to mess with, you know what I mean?
Dr. Joe, prepare for the boom, bam, oh man, slam, damn, feel like Tarzan. I be tossing and forcing, my style is awesome. I'm causing more family food than Richard Dawson. And the survey said, you're dead. Baby black girl, take chops off your fucking head. Mr. Who is that? Hey yo, the who is back, making niggas go bravo. Like on Super Cat, me fear no one. Oh no, here comes the Wu-Tang Shogun. Killer to the eardrum.
Put the needle to the groove, I get screwed and I'm forced to fuck it up. My style carries like a pickup truck. Cross the clear blue yonder. See, the time to see I slam tracks like quarterback sacks from LT. Now why try and test the rebel INS? Flesh since the birth, I earth slam your best. Cause I bake the cake, then take the cake and eat it too with my crew while we head state to state.
And if you want beef, then bring the buckets. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Wait for the motherfucking slums and busted. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. What's up, boy? Represent. Chop his head off, Dad.
Tomorrow, down, you get deep with all bizarro flows with more afro than Rollo. Coming to a fork in the road, which way to go, just follow. Method the legend, niggas is sleepy hollow. In fact, I'm a hard act to follow. I go for Dolo, road guard coming on through. Niggas is like, oh my god, not you. Yes, I come to get a slice of the punk in the pot. Rather do than die. Check my flavor, coming from the rhythm with the show for the razor. Who make me ripping this true like deja? Who? I'm rubber, niggas, it's like glue. Whatever you say, bro, so it's the killer.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. 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 Yeah, representing Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, Manhattan, Bronx, the rugged lands of Shaolin. Niggas from Virginia, Atlanta, our boys in Ohio, coming through with the crazy Mayo. Yo, niggas from the source, my man Kelly Roof from the Gavin, Real Strickland, Jason Slayton, yeah, true. My niggas fast, going down, boy, we ain't nothing to fuck with. Don't check his mom, Chicago mom, niggas from Detroit, fucking California squadron, coming through, you know what I'm saying? The whole fucking West Coast, the OE.
Yeah, you listening to Super Play.
It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Think of how many weeks shows you slept through. time's up. I'm sorry I kept you thinking of this. You keep repeating your miss. The rhymes from the microphone solo with. So you sit by the radio and on the dial soon. As you hear it, pump up the volume. Dance with the speaker till you hear it blow. Then plug in a headphone, cause here it go. It's a four-letter word when it's heard to control your body to dance. So, dot text a tempo like a red alert. Reach it to reflex and let it work. When this is playing, you can't get stuck with the steps. So can say, and I'ma still come up with a gift to be swift. Follow the leader, the rhyme will go deaf with the record that was mixed a long time ago. It could be done, but only I could do it. For those that can dance and clap your hands to it. I start to think, and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. When I'm writing, I'm trapped in between the line. I escape when I finish the rhyme. I got soul.
I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done and make sure it's broke. When I'm gone, no one gets on. Cause I won't let nobody press up and mess up the scene I set. I like to stand in the crowd and watch the people wonder, damn. But think about it, then you understand. I'm just an addict, addicted to music. Maybe it's a habit. I gotta use it, even if it's jazz or the quiet storm. I hook a beat up, convert it into hip-hop form. Write a rhyme and graffiti in every show you see me in. Deep concentration, cause I'm no comedian. Jokers are wild if you wanna be tame. I treat you like a child and you're gonna be named another enemy, not even a friend of me. Cause you'll get fried in the end when you pretend to be competing. Cause I just put your mind on pause and I complete when you compare my mind with yours. I wake you up and as I stare in your face, you seem stunned. Remember me, the one you got your idea from. But soon you start to suffer, the tune will get rougher. When you start to stutter, that's when you had enough of fighting it'll make you choke. You can't provoke, you can't cope, you should have broke. Because I ain't no joke. I ain't no joke.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze. Let's go.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Ladies and gentlemen, and lowlifes, it is with outstanding pleasure that we are here to present tonight Slick Rick the Ruler and MC Ricky D doing their smash hit Mona Lisa. You know, like the picture. Anyway, I'd like to take this time out to bow before His Divine Majesty. Oh, Your Majesty. Can I kiss your hand?
Enough. Your Highness. Bang 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 bang.
Well, it was one of those days, not much to do. I was chilling downtown with my old school crew. I went into a store to buy a slice of pizza. I bumped into a girl. Her name was Mona. What? Mona Lisa. What? Mona Lisa, so many. You know what I'm saying? So I said, excuse me there. My gosh, you look nice. Put away your money. I'll buy that slice. She said, thanks. I'd rather a slice of you. I'm just kidding, but that's awfully nice of you. The compliment showed she had a mind in her. And when I smiled, I almost blinded her. She said, Great Scott, are you a thief? Seems like you have a mouth full of gold teeth. Ha ha ha. I had to find that funny, so I said, no child, I work hard for the money. And calling me a thief, please, don't even try it. Said I need to slice of pizza and be quiet. She almost got cut short. You know, scissor. She tried to disrespect who? The Grand Wizard. Me? What's your name, son? MC Ricky D, but not to be so harsh, I said to Mona Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, and I know that's low class. Please sit. Tell me a little about your past. She said, well, I got courage and I don't like porridge. I've never been to college, but I've got crazy knowledge. Over 18 and my eyes are green. I wear more gold than that man on 18. Trim, slim, and I'm also light skinned. Best believe Mona's a virgin. A virgin? Honey needed a slap. She tried to tell me she's a virgin with a yay white gap. I said, it don't matter, see, I'm not picky. Let me spell my name out for you, it's Ricky. Ravishing, impressive, courageous or careless. Yeah. For the tangos which I've got that I wear every day. And why not? Suffice not right that I recite tonight. Quite polite like Walter Cronkite. Well, just about then, Trevor, my friend, came in. He said, hey, Rick, don't you know playing with these snakes is a sin? He grabbed me by my shirt and pulled me right out the store. He said, I don't want to see you playing with these blowlights no more. Now come along, we have a party to attend with some real mature women and some more of our friends. He held down a cab and he waited for a minute, and as the cab came, he thrusted me in it. And as we were leaving it all along, I could hear a melody as Mona sang a song.
If you see me walking down the street,
and I start to cry. Walk on by, walk on by, foolish pride. That's all I have left, so let me hide the pain and the hurt that you gave me when you said goodbye. Walk on by.
Yeah, you listen to Super Play. Let's go.
I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Here I am, R.A.W., a terrorist, here to bring trouble to phony MCs. I move on and seize, I just conquer and solve another rapper with ease. Cause I'm at my apex and others are below, nothing but a milliliter. I'm a kilo, second to none, making MCs run, so don't try to step to me, cause I ain't the one. I believe rappers just like Tylenol, and they know it, so I don't see why you all try to front, perpetrating a stunt, when you know that I smoke you up like a blunt. I'm genuine like Gucci, raw like sushi. This age of rage is what rap did to me, to make me want to create chaos and mayhem, cold rock a party until the a.m. I'll make a muscle, grab the mic and hustle. While you stand dazed and amazed, I'll bust a little rhyme with authority, superiority, and captivate the whole crowd's majority. The rhymes I use definitely amuse, better than Dynasty or Hill Street Blues. I'm sure to score and do for more without a flaw, cause I get raw.
Shout out to Love on Purpose, aka Mona Lisa.
I can't mistake.
Let me get my laptop plugged, man. I'm bugging out here right now.
Follow me into a solo, get in the flow, and you can picture like a photo. Music makes mellow, maintains to make melodies for MCs, motivation to breaks and last. And I can go on for days and days with rhyme displays that engrave deep as X-rays. I can take a phrase that's rarely heard, flip it, now it's a daily word. I can get I'ma kill it, bomb, no alarm, rock him over me, self-esteem, super superb, supreme, before I'm fade. This was take. I was supposed to wait, but let's motivate. I want to see that's why take it right. Brothers fight, I formula. Put on my left.
Let me tell you, man. It's music like this. Got this Jamaican boy.
That's the rhyme.
In love with hip hop.
Well, you're thinking you were first. Let's travel at magnificent speeds around the universe. What could you say as the earth gets further and further? Strength.
99, 78. Across the
This is a lifetime mission, vision of prison. I listen. In this journey of the journal, I'm the journalist. Am I eternal or an eternalist? I'm about to flow long as I can possibly go. Keep it moving cause the crowd says so. Dance, cut, rip your pants, every beat on the blades, bleeding to death, call an ambulance. Pull out my weapon and start to squeeze. A magnum as a microphone, murdering MCs. Let's go, a rhyme from a record I wrote. Follow the leader. Yeah, dope. Cause every time I stop, it seems you're stuck. Soon as you try to step off, you're self-destruct. I came to overcome before I'm gone by showing and proving and letting ours be born. Then after that, I'll live forever. You disagree? You say never? Then follow me from century to century. You remember me in history, not a mystery or memory. Drawn by nature, mind raised in Asia. Since you was tricked, I have to raise you from the cradle to the grave. But remember, you're not a slave. Those students were here to be much more than that. But we couldn't see it because our mind was trapped. But I'm here to break away the chains, take away the pains, remake the brains, rebuild my name. I guess nobody told you a little knowledge is dangerous. It can't be mixed, diluted, it can't be changed to switch. Here's a lesson if you're guessing and following. Hurry, hurry, step right up and keep following.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
It's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, let's go.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up.
All right, tap in real quick.
Be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah, every day.
Little old school journey been great, man. Thanks for tapping in. You know what it is, man. Super Blaze campaign mix.
They only telling their side of the story.
Black Jagger.
Out here telling lies like they on more.
Validation.
Porridge, kids, get their money.
Shout to the nation. What up? What up? Peace, peace.
Down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah, we got the good. Build of them assets, build them up fast. Get for the cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We don't smash it. Be prepared to hit the.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
One more time for the top. Black Jagger, Melanation. You know what it is, man. Inspiration music. We ain't bragging.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up.
We just talking the truth.
I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah, every day I wake, I make my mind up.
What up, Trey?
Gotta keep my mind on the. Because they only telling they side of the story.
How them NFTs going, bro?
Telling lies like they on more it and porridge. Kids get their money off on it.
We up, we up, we up, we up. Let's go. Come on.
We growing up, yeah, we got the good. Build them assets, build them up fast. Get for the cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We don't smash it. Be prepared to hit the gas.
Build the land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel. Try.
Anthem, anthem, anthem. You hear it, right?
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah, every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the. Because they only telling they side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on more it and porridge. Kids get their money off on it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah, we got the good. Build them assets, build them up fast. Get for the cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We don't smash it. Be prepared to hit the gas.
Build the land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, arise. We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel.
Try.
Blood line, yeah, we travel.
Just my child.
Blood line, yeah, we travel.
What them feathers at? Feathers up, feathers up, feathers up. Tribe, 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 tribe.
From Virginia,
I know I'm on because I'm blessed.
I'm just talking, man. You know what it is.
I passed that test.
It's been a great journey with y'all, man, tonight. Super Blaze campaign mix.
We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah.
Shout to the party, man. You know what it is.
Build the land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation.
How much money y'all losing tonight?
We the vibe, blood eye, and we travel.
Y'all could have cashed out me that money.
Try.
That's damn shame.
Blood eye, and we travel.
See how y'all wasting money out there?
Blood eye, and we travel. Build the land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, put your game up. Melanation, elevation, alright.
Y'all ain't listening to the song, man. He telling y'all what to do with the money.
with the higher, yeah.
Peace. Till next week, man. You know what it is. Super Blaze campaign mix. Mac, talk to him.
You already know what it is.
You gotta. Yeah. Uh huh.
Live. Live. Mic check 1, 2. Yeah, we in here. That's what it is. You gotta turn that one down real quick, though. I don't know, reverb. Super Bowl Sunday. Hey, you know, we said it last week, though. I'm gonna move around, get my shit comfortable. You know what I'm saying? We said this week, we told you last week, you know, it's the first Super Bowl with 2 black quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? It just so happened to have the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying? Who has the Chiefs, goddamn, you know what that is, some indigenous folk, or I should say nobility, or a position of nobility within the indigenous history, you know what I'm saying? But then we got Philly, right, God? And Philly, that's some swarthy Europeans, you heard me? In Philadelphia. If you know, shout out to Lee Cummings and the Negro Question Series, you know what I'm saying? And the Moravians and all them, the Iroquois Confederacy, you know what I mean? St. Tammany, right? That history. We can't put all of them together. Who else? William Penn. Yeah, William Penn is significant in Philadelphia history. Benjamin Franklin. You know what I mean? 1751. You hear me? I got to get certain dates out with him. You know what I mean? When he addressed the world. So Philly's on a map right now. Andy Reid, congratulations to him. He done coached both these teams, ain't it? He done coached a lot of black quarterbacks in his lifetime, ain't it? Yeah, Andy Reid. Got to give him a shout out. You know what I'm saying? And also the 2 brothers, once again, on both teams. You know what I mean? The Kels family. You know what I mean? There's some white boys. Them boys got both their families' sons on 2 different teams in the Super Bowl. History being made. Ain't that some shit? You hear me? Yeah, I'm okay. Can y'all hear me? Mic check in the chat. Can y'all hear me? Make sure we live. Once again, though, I came in straight off the tip. MusicMediaLounge.com. Each and every Sunday, we right here live in the studio. You know what I'm saying? 8 to 11 o'clock. We do our Mix Show podcast. You know what I mean? And we got other things coming. Shout out to Opie Mihai. It's like it is Black History Month, so we did drop our first. You know what I mean? I should say he did because he did the work. You know what I mean? Representing the party genealogy wise. He's the chairperson of that dropped this week. Go check out that Genealogy 101. You know what I'm saying? One of our first of the series that Opie Maha will be bringing to our platform for people to get information about dealing with genealogies on YouTube right now. It's about a 30-minute video, ain't no long. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? We might will highlight it at the end of the night, make sure y'all see a little something, you know what I'm saying? So, shout out to Opie, you know what I mean? Free people of color, you know what I'm saying? Is what you see on the screen when you go to that joint. And obviously, shout out to Kumse. We got some something coming with him. We gonna be dropping some of his episodes soon. Like we got other people in the party that put out information that we just the show on Sunday. I ain't trying to downplay us, but we got some real content without the music and without all the elements of the whole totality of what we do on a Sunday with guests and different things. You're gonna see it separated in certain ways, but we still unified. That's why it's still on the same channel. You heard me? So shout out to the social club, the social organization, the autonomous party, and obviously what we do. Through the campaign, the heart's reality is to live life autonomously. You heard me? And this is the campaign behind the party. You heard me? Yeah, yeah. We coming back around to our Friday joint. Blaze, shout out to Blaze. We got some shit popping, but we just expanding. We taking our time, cover our foundation, our 4 corners. You heard me? Now, real quick though, you said earlier, Blaze, somebody died from De La Soul. Guy with the green, who was it? Dave Trugoy, the Dub. Yeah, so that slipped past me, man. But I grew up on De La Soul, you know what I mean? The culture of it, you know what I'm saying? I can't front as a jit, you know what I'm saying? The skating rink wouldn't be what it was without, you know what I mean? The De La Soul joint. I'm put like that. If you know, you know. But we're gonna play one of their latest joints that I used to play all the damn time. I mean, I used to play this joint, and people are like, Matt, I'm like, that's De La Soul, newest joint, man. And we gonna play this joint. It's soulful, it's positive. De La Soul, man. That's hip hop. Shout out to De La Soul, man. Dave, rest in peace. Tap in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pete Rock, and welcome to Nobody Theater. We're introducing a new series called Memory of Us, based on the hit song by De La Soul. It's the story of a bride to be played by Estelle, who has a moment of reflection just prior to delivering her vows. It's a story that blurs the line between memory and reality, regret and redemption, plug one and plug two. And now we open with Estelle, preparing for her wedding, contemplating the past.
And it's so easy to fall back to the memory of, and it's easy to recall the good and fall into place. But you're not easy to love. I love the memory of. I remember you now, part of my existence. I remember your face. You came in and got me all in a day. Yeah, all in a day. I remember your lips. Do you remember the taste? Remember family names. Your child, my child, our child, Whitney and Dwayne. Different to my world now. Remember the waist. You grip my hips so tight now. Slow the pace. Maybe erase, don't remember my waist. Cause it's so easy to fall back to the memory of, and it's easy to recall the good and fall into place. But you're not easy to love. I love the memory of.
How could I forget? A ballad was born upon a demo of a fly love song. Didn't take long before the archer with the wings heard it. Shot us in the heart with a contract. He knew we were ahead. The right amount of soul with a parallel amount of grit. But the archer couldn't see the target of departure. He gave in your pink slip and called it quits. It's understood you would. They will be the mate who wronged you. Cause I kept wanting to feature with them other females on these songs too. The words spoken in mono for monogamy. Telling me I had to go cause I chose stereo for stereotypical male biology. And now I'm left setting traps for you to fall in. For me again, but with hate you tell me slow the pace.
Maybe erase, don't remember my ways. Cause it's so easy to fall back to the memory of, and it's easy to recall the good and fall into place. But you're not easy to love. I love the memory of.
Our last trip to Vegas had me feeling like we had a chance, but chance just showed up at the wedding. I guess I didn't read the heading. Forgiving won't erase the bitter past, but I ain't up for kissing ass. I bought you everything your pretty feet could fit in. Put you behind the finest steering wheels, fearing you would drive a nigga crazy. Told you grow up, but shit, you was my baby. Bits and pieces never made nothing decent. When I accommodated you, you played me like a stranger.
I remember you now.
Accountability is major.
Part of what I did then. Remember your face. Just don't let me trip over memory lane. Cause time can't be replaced. And I don't wanna stay. Oh, it's so easy to fall back to the memory of. It's so easy to fall. Remember your way.
And this concludes our special presentation of Memory of Us. We'll hope you join us next time on Nobody Theater. Until then, I am the Soul Brother #1, Pete Rock. Good evening.
Yeah.
We've been brewing great.
Hold on. Super Bowl commercials and shit. Is the speakers on? We good? That money. All right. Like I said, we live. I'm gonna play another. We got another video, right? Before I'm buying time. Got like 10 minutes for our guests. You know what I mean? I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but the topics that have been lining up for the night gonna get handled either way. You know what I'm saying? Because I got some shit to get off. Got to get off on the archive from last year after we gonna run behind on schedule. Dropping some of this information, but we want to put it in a conceptual way that people can absorb and really take it and do the research behind it. You know what I mean? And when we talk about certain concepts and topics, you know what I mean, of it's Black History Month, right? They call Black people. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot on Clubhouse though of really a lot of people that I realize that really do have this concept that everybody that's supposed to be Black American or African American came here in 1619, so to speak. And after that, what I mean, it was no Black people here before that. And everybody that was indigenous to America before 1619 happened to be Mongoloid looking people. You know what I mean? Or Eurasian looking people. Or what's another word we could use? You know what I mean? There's another word besides Eurasian and Mongoloid. Asian. Now, I don't like to use Asian. See, that's a misnomer. Siberian, Eskimo. You know what I'm saying? And even though complexion is skin, we say all skin folk ain't kin folk. That's a fact because people of color doesn't determine that we all just happen to be related and have something in common with slavery and shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're melanated. It was melanation. You know what I'm saying? That we have unified maybe underneath this American system, the United States of America, does not really denote that we all come from the same genealogical or heritage or particular cultures until a certain time frame based off this system that we're in today. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I say that. So, make sure you understand what I'm saying. Black History Month. What we got up first though, man? Before our people come up, we got people pulling up. The video. Give me that TikTok shit for Black History Month real quick, then. Yeah, give me that. You know what I mean? Because I want to kind of keep this in the time for the Super Bowl Sunday. It is, it's a Black Historical Month, right? Is what they call it. Shut up now. In a couple weeks, Maroonville weekend. You know what I mean? We still doing our thing. For those who's coming in town and tapping in with us for Maroonville weekend, inside Black History Month, the last weekend of it. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? Going into that spring. You know what I mean? Because a couple weeks after that, we gonna be into that solstice. I always like to say solstice. I be tripping, but it's equinox, the spring equinox. You hear me? One of the four corners. You know what I'm saying? Aries season. I'm an Aries. I might be just being biased. You know what I mean? We the head, in my opinion. New Year's is where I start. Shout out to my Aries out there. Shout out to all the indigenous and obviously all the maroon folks out there. You know what I'm saying? Inside what we call this Black history based off all our melanation. Melanation, all right. That boy Black Jacket got a hit, boy. I'm trying to tell y'all. Whew. All right. You ready, God? Let's give it to him. Tap in.
Bang Receipt Gang.
What do we have here? Says up there, the town of Sun Village, California makes history as the first Black tribal township in North America. This is out of Los Angeles, January 27th, 2023. Sun Village, California makes history as the first Black tribal township in North America. Sun Village, California is the first tribal township in North America. The city council declared its town a tribal territory. The first of its kind since the advent of slavery, establishing itself as a separate indigenous territory and government for African Americans, aka the American Indian. I ain't gonna go read too much more, but it's right there. You can go check it out yourself. All the plugs is right there. Yeah, go and check it out, man. So somebody knows, the government, I mean, who the Aboriginals are. Didn't I tell you it's all gonna come back into the hands of the Aboriginals anyway? Peace and prosperity to all of humanity. This is your boy, the God, Originally Sounds. This should be the new trend. You understand? This should be the new trend. Peace.
That part. Black History Month once again. You know, we plugged that in. The man made history. There's a lot of things going on in the month, the Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things going on in Black History Month. You've seen that. You know what I mean? And you funny how he threw it in there that they're still acknowledging the African American, and he says the first town to make history to do things in an indigenous way, but he still say that they're described as African American. Do you hear that right? Or was I tripping? Got it, Grant? I wasn't tripping though. They still called them this, right? You know, it's crazy because again, this week we just did a room. Some people don't like to comprehend things. We ain't even gonna put the source up there. We'll see you at the end of the month for that one. You know what I mean? A Frenchie. And I'm gonna spell it out for you. Black history, Aboriginal trivia type shit. You're AFFRANCHI. That word of Frenchie. Etymology. A franchise. Enfranchise. Disenfranchise. It's all connected to this word of Frenchie. And that's why it's important for our people, melanated, to be understanding in their color spectrum of being caught up, you know, with people who can documentally say that they have people that have mulatto or whatever tribe or obviously colored on their documentation, birth certificate speaking, of time frames of any time after the, you know, obviously 1791 or after 1865, right? These transcripts showing to describe the group of people, you know what I mean? To make sure we're on the same page. So that's why you gotta go check out Opie's joint that he just dropped this week. It's deep. You know what I'm saying? We've been covering it for last year on Clubhouse, but now we're gonna bring it to you on YouTube in a real way. The free people of color, when you go look it up on Wikipedia, you know, they say make a Wikipedia, anybody can plug it in. I learned that lesson. So you can't just, you gotta verify things, whatever you get from Wikipedia. I gotta put that out there anytime I say their name, unfortunately, right? Kind of like some of these indigenous in different groups, Pan-Africans as well, you know, Hebrews as well, Moors as well, that, you know, got information out there that ain't right. So you got to check everybody's self-identification and their substance behind it. Identity is not going to pass the goal. You got to be on point. So this disenfranchised term, franchise term, a Frenchie, means freedman from the French. Black history, the first pope ever was put in position by Charlemagne, the king of the Franks. He was Swarthy. That's a Black history moment. But at the same time of him being a Moor, you know what I mean? A Gaul, you know what I'm saying? However you want to go into it, his lineage, Charles Martel and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? It's linked to him. He's the first one to put a pope in position underneath the Frank, excuse my French, fuck him. But at the same time, Frank means freely speaking, because I was freely speaking when I said that, because I don't like what he did. But at the same time, you know, it ain't nothing personal. You know, he in the grave, it ain't coming back, nothing like Jesus ain't. You heard me? So don't get mad at me for that, on that. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, though, I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat and everybody that's tapping in with us on Super Bowl Sunday live. Okay. Give me a second. All right. So what we got next, real quick, then I can slide that in and we can get ready to go. We're gonna get right into it. 10 o'clock, Super Bowl Sunday. I got a lot of information to pack in, and it's like an hour and 15 minutes or so. Let's give them that real quick, Black History Month, and then we're gonna go right into the topics. You know what I mean? And where you've seen the flyer and everything. And one of my guests, you know what I mean, is having issues and stuff. So I don't know if he's gonna make it, but he got the plug. If he wants to tap in, he always can. So any of his guests, I'm in essence, I know what it is. He's been on our platform a couple of different times, but we're still going to make this happen with one of our guests and have a conversation. My dog out of Louisiana is here with us. You ready? Pull up. All right, so hold on. Show them the top part though. So I got to give this out. It's a book. See, I said every week coming up, I was gonna put a book out. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with Black History Month information. I probably know you ain't read type shit. You know what I mean? But this is a book, and it's information as well, tied to a book. But the 4 moments of the sun, hidden lands of Florida maroon communities. Shout out to Florida. I'm in Florida. I got to be biased a little bit, so you got to be patient with me about this part. But the maroon part can connect in some things we're gonna talk about tonight. Anyways, you heard me. Anyways, it says prior to existence in the Underground Railroad in the late 1700s and early 1800s, enslaved Africans escaped into American wilderness and formed their own communities, sometimes in isolation and at other times in near indigenous communities. One such southern haven was the area of land that was to become the state of Florida. During the Florida's first Spanish period, 1565 to 1763, a sparse population mixed with relatively liberal manumission. Ooh, I just got through saying a Frenchie, right? Now I want to make everybody understand when you go research a Frenchie, you know what I'm saying, or disenfranchised or franchised people, you know what I mean? Even though the Spanish didn't use that term, right? That's the French term. So I ain't mixing no dope because some people like to do that. They just try to lump everything together because of the system we in now. But these colonies, they had different terms and they caste systems. So I'm being very detailed with this part because some people be slow. You heard me on a slow bus. Now, when it comes down to the sparse population mixed with relatively liberal manumission, laws led many free blacks, including runaways. See, a lot of y'all in the popular Black history, right? God, when they hear about maroons, they say they got to be runaway slaves. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't some group of people called free people of color that was involved with that situation. Well, this is just another idea of what you need to understand. To live among or near the Creek or Seminole Indians, they worked for both the Spanish and the indigenous peoples by building towns and forts, performing agricultural tasks, and providing military service. At this time, the Spanish offered freedom to enslaved Africans from British colonies. Is it enslaved or Frenchy? I'm going to say it like that. From the British colonies in return for their conversion to Roman Catholicism. You hear that? Yeah. Over time, the state was split into East and West Florida. Shout out to Louisiana. You heard me? Because West Florida is Louisiana. I don't want you to think when they're saying West Florida in the 15th century that they're talking about Pensacola or some shit right going into Alabama or something. No, at West Florida in the time frame of the 15 to 1763 time frame, the people that would think of West Florida at that time frame, you're really talking about Alabama, Louisiana, and everything hitting the Gulf going into Texas. I just make sure you get the context. People don't maybe know these things. You know what I mean? Because people be mixing the dope. So I'm trying to clarify that for you too, you heard? To give you some real context of what's really going on. Now, it says over time, the state was split to East and West Florida. It says with most of the land east of the Swanee River becoming home to plantations and supporting the southern economy. As control of the state switched to the British, then back to the Spanish during the second Spanish period, give me your time frame, 1784 to 1821. And ultimately, the Americans, these Cimarron or Maroons communities were pushed further and further south, eventually hiding deep in the swamps of the Everglades, because the area we live in, God, right now, right, is considered the Everglades, ain't it? Or fleeing to Cuba. Shout out to my people in the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? Some Muskogee thing taking place. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, Black History Month. I had to throw that in there. You back there? You ready to go? Now we can go straight to the video. Yeah. Let's go. Let's pull them up real quick. Let's pull up. Let's pull up. What they do. What they do.
Shalom, shalom, my brother. What's good?
Oh man, I appreciate you pulling up for the conversation, man. The build. You feel me?
Yeah, it's a little wild out here, man. Sorry for my tardiness, man. We got parade season, carnival season, Super Bowl, all that's going on in the city, and it's just like, yeah, crazy. But I'm happy to be here with you, brother. This is way more important than the Super Bowl, even though we got a good game this year.
Oh yeah, Black history. You know, they say
Mm,
two black quarterbacks, Chiefs in the Philly. It's kind of like
right.
a hit. If you understand what it's saying, it's really giving you some history too.
It is. Isn't it funny how all that seems to work out, that symmetry? Yeah. Maybe the
Yeah,
NFL wrote that script, who knows,
I don't
man.
know. Maybe they did.
Mm.
Maybe they did. We ain't gonna get caught up in that. I ain't gonna do all that tonight. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna lie, I've had some people this week come to me about the betting part of it, the spread part of it,
Mhm.
gematria, dealing with the gambling and
34,
how
37, yeah.
oh, you seen that too?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
that
that.
part,
I
yeah.
saw that joint.
Yeah. And right now, hey, but crazy part is they off either way, because right now it's tied 35-35. So the numbers is off either way. You know what I mean?
Either
So whoever
way.
made the prediction, NFL got their own goddamn prediction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But it's a
they.
close game.
Yeah, they could.
How many minutes we got left? We got 2 minutes left, so we're gonna keep y'all bit by
Oh,
bit
2
in the
minutes.
next 2 minutes
Sure.
before we go hard on it. You know what I'm saying? But it is tied Black History Month. I mean,
Yeah.
35-35. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Let's see how they write this
I
script.
got Philly though. I have Philly in this situation. But either way, it's you know from a it's a win-win on my side. But they said it was gonna be a lose. You was rooting for Kansas. Okay, I mean, hey, just the feeling of you want cheat shit. The Chiefs sound better. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying? I always gonna fuck with the cheat shit over if a name standpoint. You know what I'm saying? I'm fucking with and Kansas City got some history too. We're gonna go there too. You feel me? What we got
Yeah.
first, man? What we got first? We're gonna give y'all after we go through the first thing, and I want to show you some things. You remember when we was talking about one of the first bills I did for the year, and I had pointed out some things in that first bill dealing with the Sephardic Jew and some things like that. You remember that? You pause. Is it
Yeah,
me?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. You remember that, right? The first bill we did
Yeah. Yes.
for the year, and you told me about it, and we talked for a moment, and I want to just make sure I make sure people know that this is the book that I was referencing from. You know what I'm saying? Carolina
Right.
Genesis,
Genesis.
and
Mhm.
it did have a word, Black History Month wise, that I want to make sure people have clearly understood this word. And I'm going to show another source. Shout out to Tecumseh, who hit me with this today. I'm like, nigga, why you didn't give this to me? But I'm gonna go ahead and put me on a big screen real quick. Put me on a big screen. Let me show the people so
Yeah.
they can see it on a big screen. The book. What page is this? 63. 63. I'm gonna make sure you get this. All right. You see where it says that right there?
Mm-hmm.
You see that big and bold where it says in bold, right?
Amagarak. Yeah.
Amor
Amor
Garcon.
Garcon. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
Atlantic coast. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is this right here is very significant to Black history. Is a missing link that I ain't gonna get credit for because it's not my book, right? I learned it from the book. First time I ever seen it was in this book. I ain't gonna lie.
You got to read that Ponce de Leon part that you had in your hand there.
Yeah, oh yeah, you seen that. You peep
Yeah,
that.
that little part. Yeah, you got to read that little part right there.
You know what? Since you said that, wait, what you see this shit? You got good ass eyes.
It's
Hold
right
on.
under this in the same one of the Marigarcon. It's about the third to fourth line from the bottom. You got Ponce de Leon in there.
Hold on, wait a second, dog. I'm gonna read what you say. This is to let you know. Underneath Morgarcon on the Atlantic coast, it says the earliest appearance of a variant of the name
Mm-hmm.
Morgarcon in the land that eventually became the United States is recorded by the Spanish in 1680 as Amacaris, a tribal name contained in the title for the Florida mission El Nombre de Dios de Amacaris, which was acknowledged as a Amasi town located in the Temuco province of La Florida. Yeah. It says Swanton applied the name Amacaris as the original name of the Yamacraw and abbreviated from the name Yamasi appears in South Carolina records as Amasi, Smassi, which is showing the picture that I just showed where it says the Indians of New Netherlands, 1671. You know what I mean? So when people see that picture, that's where it's depicting. And then obviously, I'm trying to find where you say you seen
Right above the picture. It's right above the picture.
You see that?
Ponce de Leon, right above the picture. You put it on the screen. I'm gonna read it. You put it on the camera over a little bit right there, and it says L. Let me see. Oh, okay. I saw the province as Ponce of Lady de Leon. I saw the wrong word. I thought it was
Ain't no
Ponce
pressure.
de Leon, but it's
I'll make it
province.
show.
It's province
You
of
make
Los
sure.
Angeles, of LA.
Yeah, you see it though.
Yeah, I see it. I thought it said Ponce. I guess my eyes wanted to see Ponce de Leon.
I ain't mad at you for saying that though. But no, it's funny since you said that though. I'm gonna go to the page before. I'm gonna go a little bit before. I'm gonna show another picture. This is the same book, Carolina Genesis, real quick before we go into something. There is a word there. You see this word? It's just there. Mixed blood osprey became what it say?
Latino Chitamacha.
You see that word? Ladino?
Oh, it's a D? I can't tell. Oh, yes,
That's a
Ladino.
D.
Yes. All right. I thought
Yeah.
it was a T. Yes, Ladino Hebrew. No doubt. Chitamacha.
You know, you see the picture.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Now, I want you to look. I'm gonna show you even the bottom where it says chicken mecca. Hold on, I'm moving to the wrong way.
Chicamacha. Mm-hmm. Chicamacha.
You know what I'm saying? Now, this book right here. Now, I want to do this because a lot of this stuff with you and how the thing we gonna talk about is some context to why I'm doing this. By the way, you know what I mean? Jail. I do these for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure people are paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Because I've talked about this book a couple of times on this podcast.
And I gotta watch myself with you, bro. You drop out some information that most people don't get. You know what I'm saying? You have a brother like, whoa. So I love to hear from you. I love our conversations because you always come with something I didn't quite expect. So I'm ready tonight.
Hey man, that's the thing, man. I wanna enlighten and be enlightened at the same damn time.
Right.
The Chiefs up by 3 points, by the way. The Chiefs are up
38-35.
35. It's game. How many seconds? Oh, it's over, y'all. I done lost my bet. 8 seconds left on the clock, 38-35. Chiefs are up. I take a loss like a real man. I ain't gonna lie. If I said something, it was a 3-point spread, but goddamn, the Chiefs won. That's what they basically showing. 8 seconds left.
But it's still 35-37. It's still 34-37.
It's kind of like that.
It's still 34-37 to 35-38. It's still 3 points. It's still a Gramaccio of 3.
It's still 3 points.
It's still a Gramaccio of 3.
It's still 3 points.
Yeah.
Oh, I like how you said that. It's still 3 points. And we still got the wrong team, too. How to flip the tricks to work. But, all right. Now, the crazy part about this, in this same book, Carolina Genesis, Ladino, here we go again. Ladino Chicamexa in Mexico. All right? Now, I'm going to go to the next part where I'm trying to get to, because this is where the words get very interesting, because we're going to pull them up, definitions and all tonight. And what, for some of the discussions we're having, because I want people to get context in it. Now, peek this right here where it say, all share Marano, which is secret Jews heritage. You see?
Right. Oh, yes. The Moranos. That's right. Which was, and
all share the Marano secret Jews heritage. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you
I
see
want
it,
to
I know
kind of
everybody can see it.
explain. Yeah, I want to kind of explain. Yeah, you can see the picture, but the words are so small underneath the picture. But you can see the top of Ladino. You can't really
Right.
make the words underneath it. But to let people know that there was such a thing as conversos and Moranos at this time when they gave this title. Moranos was for blacks and conversos were for Caucasians. What does that mean when it comes to Hebrew? Because everyone seems to assume that the Ashkenazi Jews are the ones that would have been those conversos, but they're not. They were Caucasians that were following Sephardic Hebrews that were in the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, and Portugal. Not the same as the Ashkenazi Khazari Jews that we have of today. So you have the two sects, but to the Moranos and to the conversos, those conversos would be what you call Sephardic Jews today, Caucasians that acted as though they were Christians but followed the Hebrew ways, and then came out of all of that expulsion of black people and wind up being on top and then being the respected Sephardic Jews, as we were the ones that were run across to the Americas from Jamaica to the Caribbean to West Florida.
All right, boom. Check this out. Now, boom. Great breakdown. A great breakdown. See, you sound surprising. I think we having a great converse. I ain't mad at you. What you just gave is drop. You heard me? Now, look. I know I showed it, but I want to make sure I'm thorough with it before I go into certain things, because this got to be laid out. 15th century. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people ain't understanding the 15th century. Because, from a religious standpoint, people say they're Hebrew Israelites. Some people say they're Yehudi. Some say they're Jews, right? Black Jews, Hebrew Israelites, Yehudi. And that's what we put on the flyer. So I ain't, just making this up. We promoted this way. So none of my topics are out there like no one know what we came to do tonight. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I ain't trolling nobody, ain't getting at nobody. We promoted it this way. That's why we're going into the context of this conversation this way. Now, the Morano, which obviously in parentheses says secret Jews, we know it's dark-skinned people. It says here their ancestral family was Amora, Amora. It says tradition holds that the Amora, plural of Amora, excuse me, so I'm saying that wrong. Amorim, that's Amoraim. So with the IM, it's plural. Amora is a singular individual in a certain situation, basically in this time frame, from ancient time frame. Mm-hmm. That I most I don't hear most Hebrew Israelites, I should say, you know what I mean, or even black Jews. I'm telling you, I ain't heard too many say this to me. Period. That the group of rabbis who would be considered dark skinned in the Sephardic time frame, or in North Africa, or even in West Africa, or in South Europe, that were running courts and running positions of nobility, the title of position they will be in will be Amora. See, now, the Amora, there's another term for it in Aramaic called Moran. And the Moran is going to go back to the word Mar. And I'm going to show y'all this with the definition in a second on how our Rev today, like Reverend, Rev, goes back to Rav, R-A-V, which is also what we correlated to a Amorum or Amora. I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna show this shit. Nice. So now, real quick, it says around 1569, the religious persecution that drove the Moranos from Spain caught up with the Amorum in New Spain.
Which was where?
Here. New Spain is going to be
West Florida,
South America, and West Florida. All that. That's Florida too. It's going to be New Spain too, because they're the Spanish territories. All their missionary movements is going to be underneath what we would call territories of New Spain.
And when I was on the show last time, I expressed that when you go into the Caribbean, that they consider everything from Florida to Louisiana the northernest part of the Caribbean. So that would make sense with that being that whole area.
All that going to be under the Gulf.
Yeah.
Mexico. You feel me?
So you're saying that, it's a little contradictory to the little guy that's out there right now telling everybody that the Gulf of Mexico was the crescent moon and the star of Islam.
Yeah, that's pseudo.
Yeah, very.
That's pseudo. I know somebody literally told me this week something he heard in the room like pseudo. I'm like, okay. Either way, I've heard some pseudo shit in my time, but that's pseudo because see this group, Ladino. What's the next source, real quick? Let's make sure we keep this in line, huh?
Yeah.
I'm going to the book because remember you know about this book. I've been telling you about it. All right, so I'm gonna show another book real quick. So check this out, book. Check this book out. It's gonna be kind of tied to the time frame of 1619, since they talk about Africans that came on slave ships in 1619. Even though in 1619, just for everybody to know, that's tied to Francis Drake with 20 odd Negroes coming out of the Caribbean,
Spain,
and,
exactly,
and coming into Virginia. You know what I mean? All right, so check out this book that we talked about last week called "When Scotland Was Jewish." Here's the author, and what matter? We showing the book first. Oh yeah, here's the author. I got a quick little interview with him on here. Check this out, y'all.
I'm glad you getting into this.
I'm going to go. I want you to know who these people are. Yeah, I want you to know who these people are that's writing these books. You know what I mean? When Scotland was Jewish. This is Yates, right? Yates, surname Yates. Check him out. Here we go.
Would you be willing to trade all the days from this day to that for one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom?
After watching Braveheart with Mel Gibson and seeing a production of Riverdance, I'm sure that the last thing that you thought of was, well, I bet those folks are Jewish. Well, my next guest has done extensive research and has co-authored a book on that very idea. It's called When Scotland Was Jewish. Welcome to Jewish Voice, the founder of DNA Consulting, Mr. Donald Yates. Hey, Donald. I was fascinated by your book, When Scotland Was Jewish. What brought you to the place of writing about the Jewish genealogy of
Most people say, when Scotland was Jewish, I didn't know it ever was. But Scotland happens to be the only country in Europe that never persecuted Jews. And
that's not true because Russia didn't either.
And I was led to this story, which is an amazing story, by my own genealogy, which was so unusual that I even had to start my own DNA testing company to completely sort it out.
Oh, he started his own
company.
company.
You started a DNA company? Yes. And I'm Jewish. I'm also Choctaw Cherokee Indian.
You heard what he said?
Born in Georgia.
Yeah. What a mixture.
Right. So,
what a mixture.
It was a moral imperative on me and others in my family to figure out who we were. Of course, I guess I should have known all along because my grandmother's name was Palestine.
So talk about the origin, the Jewish origin of Scotland.
That means you're the other side.
Happened.
That part.
Well, it happened with the conquest of England. William the Conqueror, or as other people unkindly but accurately call him, William the Bastard.
12th century.
In the 11th century, conquered England.
1000.
Date 1066.
Yeah,
and
1066.
He brought with him a lot of French Jews to run the civil administration of the new state, because Jews could read. Jews could count. They had literacy. They had numeracy, which is the equivalent for accounting purposes. For instance, they invented the form of accounting known as the exchequer, and they're still lord of the exchequer today in the British aristocracy. Down through time, that office was held by Jews. And then in 1290, that's an important date, 1290, going back to Braveheart, you mentioned
that's
Braveheart.
the edict. That's the edict.
Yes.
In
England.
We know who the
Jews
hero
got kicked
was.
out. 1290.
Wallace, but who was the villain? Edward, King Edward.
That's right.
King
Yep,
Edward
he did eat it.
expelled the Jews from England.
Yep.
Unless they converted or pretended to convert.
To pretend.
Then they
Yeah.
became secret Jews or crypto
That
Jews.
part.
But many of them just went, exactly. Many of them just went to Scotland because Scotland was always welcoming toward Jews. You could say that probably 1 out of every 8 Scotsmen in their kilts and attire and with their bagpipes and whiskey is walking around on the streets of Edinburgh and Glasgow and Aberdeen, particularly Aberdeen.
Aberdeen,
with Jewish
key
heritage,
place.
and they don't know it.
Yeah.
Travels. Donald, what? There's several. The book deals with archaeology. I also saw many of the different clans listed. Clan Campbell, for example. There's lists. It's very meticulous research. One of the things that really, I mean, the thought of this is just mind-boggling. 1066 also is an important date because it's the beginning of the Crusades. So what's the likelihood that some of these Scottish crusaders were actually Jews?
No, the Templars accompanied the Crusaders, and they ran.
You hear that?
The tour operation, you might say.
The tour operation.
And the banks and the.
Did they know they were Jews? Had they already been intermarried for a century?
Templars now.
Christianity. What do you know about that?
Outwardly, they would have adopted the semblance of Christianity, but they continued to practice Jewish customs, and they held worship services in the home.
So, you can cut it. You can cut it. Just cut it. They had to give you the bagpipes though, just to give you a little culture, that Scottish bagpipe. You know what I mean? Kilt culture. But that was Donald Yates, man. He wrote a lot of books, and I ain't gonna lie. You know, you see his complexion, but he said he got Choctaw, Cherokee, Scottish, right? Right? You heard him? Right? That's what he said his DNA lay out to, right?
You know,
either way, that's the book right there.
The thing about it is that DNA also shows that the original Scots were melanated.
Yes. So I have no issue with the fact that he says that he has a mixture that way. So it shouldn't be a reason that a black person shouldn't think that they ain't got a mixture the same way too.
And you're bringing me to my point, being here in Louisiana, as you was giving a shout out in the beginning and discussing West Florida coming all the way over to Louisiana, that I have friends. First of all, my name, my government name is an Irish name. I have an Irish front name and a German last name. That's my government name. Without me telling y'all what it is, the first name is Irish and the last is German. And my grandfather on my mother's side was a black German from a town that has the same last name that I was born with.
That part.
So when we're speaking about him saying his mix of Cherokee, Choctaw, and Scottish, and me saying that the Scots through DNA are shown to be melanated as the original, so were the Cherokee and the Choctaw that he is mentioning. So all he's saying, if we want to break it down, is that as his European ancestors came into these areas, these are who they mated with. And guess what? His grandfather mated with a woman that was both Scottish and and Choctaw already.
Right.
So when his European DNA comes in there and it shows a hit of both of them, that's from the ancestors of the people that they mated with over here, because this place, as Jamaicans know, have a same patois as it is in Scott in Ireland. And to my last point is that I have a partner here that he just did his family, not DNA, but he went through his family records and whatnot and got the pictures and whatnot. And all of his great uncles and grandfather came from Ireland, came from Scotland. Black, all of them black.
All black.
So, and right now his family is known as an Aboriginal family. Like his family is from Whitfield, Louisiana, and Aboriginal to Whitfield, but yet his great great grandfather and all their brothers were from Ireland. So this is real life. This ain't, these people playing with DNA numbers and sequences and trying to figure out some analysis and got enough money to start their own company because they just didn't like the results that somebody else gave them. Well, we can't do that in ours. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that. But I just thought that was interesting. Not bad.
No. You see where I'm going with this, though. I'm laying certain things out. I'm trying to point things out for the conversation, and people got to do their own genealogy to see these things, right? You know what I mean? I got people, you know what I mean, that people from out of Haiti, they seen that they got French in their lineage, you know what I'm saying? Mixed with African and Indian from that island. And then you got people in Jamaica, they got the Scottish, Irish with the Indians, you know what I mean? Where they will say Aboriginals of that island with their mixture, you know what I'm saying? And then you got, you know what I'm saying? This is
exactly.
Everybody starting to see it now. Sephardic is a thing that's underlined between these terms of these people, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Spanish Sephardic Jews. Now, let me go to my next joint real quick. I want to make sure. Yates, Donald Yates.
I just want to make sure everybody understands that Sephardic Jew is the umbrella. Underneath that, there are the Moranos, the Conversos, Latinos, and a couple of others. You know what I'm saying? That's underneath that large umbrella, and that's both black and white under that large Sephardic umbrella.
Yes, that's a fact. We can't say that everybody's one complexion or one thing just because we say Sephardic. I'm glad you said that. But there is a history that we don't see Black history cover dealing with melanated individuals of a certain faith that we will call today a creed that would be considered Jewish, or I like to say Yehudi. You know what I'm saying? That would be connected to the ancient culture of the people that they say in the religious books called Hebrew Israelites. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, with that connection of those people that we can really find in history, because people say we can debate about are these real people in the Bible or the Torah or whatever, but the people who followed that culture definitely had this ideal that they're related to these people in ancestry dealing with their law system, the Torah, that governed over them. Do you agree with that?
Governed over all of them. That's right.
Okay. That's what I want to make sure we're on the same page about. Let's go to the air clean. I want to make sure we're on the same page now. Because we're going to go into some shit now. Next joint. We showed when Scotland was Jewish last week. We can do this all the time. We got the book.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We can do a book, you know what I'm saying, joint on that one if you want to.
No doubt.
Because that's I showed you the author last week. We really kind of, that's a book that I ain't gonna lie. Inside that book, if you get that book, I'm gonna tell you to look up keywords to get to some real meat. Because you're gonna read the book over time. But if you're looking if you're a researcher and you're looking for certain things to prove certain points to make you facts, and you notate certain things.
You need chapter and verse on some things. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You're moving fast. I need this real quick. Well, terms like Morano. Right?
Right.
Morano. We know that's dark-skinned people, right?
Right.
Now, these Moranos and the leaders of the Moranos, even though it does denote a Mar, M-A-R.
Yes, it does.
Can we pull up what's the next joint real quick, man? I don't know if it's correlated how our conversation is going, but I hope I'm landing. Yes, I am. See, I'm landing right, God. I'm landing pretty good. This is literally, I was wondering if I was going to land this way after I said it. It's like freestyle, really, how I'm talking to you. It is naturally. You heard me? You know what I'm saying? Now, this word Amora, I want people to really understand in Black history, because this is dark-skinned people. When you hear the word Amora, we're talking about Black people. Black History Month, y'all. You know what I mean? Now, look. It says Hebrew and Aramaic interpreter or reciter. And then remember, we were just reading out the Carolina Genesis, it said plural, Amorum. And I said it the same way. It said Amora is singular, and then IA makes it plural. It says in ancient times, a Jewish scholar attached to one of the several academies in Palestine. It says Tiberias, Sepphoris, Sisera, or in Babylonia. And then it says Nephardia, Sura, and Pumadita. The Amorim collaborated in written the writing Gemara, collected interpretations of the commentaries of the Mishnah, the authoritative code of the Jewish oral law, and on its critical marginal notes called Tosafeta edition, the Amorim were thus the successors of the earlier Jewish scholars called the Tannim. And then the Tannin, by the way, without the I-M, really is going to be the Tannin. And the Tannin are ones that deal with the oral law. The Amora are the ones in the period of what we will say after the Second Temple to really deal with the written law. You know what I'm saying? The written law. So now the written law is what the Amora period of rabbis, as a general term, will cover, because you got the Tannim, then you got the Amorim. And now the Amorim is going to be connected to this group of people, dark-skinned people, because I know some people, like, you know, when they claim these religious ideals of things, like they're people, they do know, you know, some didn't go against the law or some shit like that, or didn't do some shit against their God or whatever they might be. You feel me, Chayil?
Yeah,
like some people don't want to admit the sins or the wrongs in civilizations that took place amongst dark-skinned people when it comes to religion.
So what you're saying is that these Amora, which is blacks, were part of with the and they say in the Gemara writings in the Mishnah and writing the Talmud. So we would have to go back to the Jerusalem Talmud in order for that, because once you get to the other Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud, that's a I don't know if it's Babylonian Talmud. It's a different Talmud. So I want to get some clarity, because that's a lot being said right here.
It's a lot, right?
But let me do it like this, right? So when we talking about the Tanakh, right?
Right.
We're talking about this translation, right? That was supposed to be the original one that was done from the that was done from Alexander the Great, right? The Greeks, the first translation, right? This is supposed to be a reflection of that, right? What they don't have written in there, which I think is odd when they talk about the Mishnah, they don't say nothing about the Cadites or the Mezerites, which is the ones. It do. All right. But let me get to the part that I want to say. None of the writings in the Torah, right? Because we're not going to call none of the Mishnah the Torah, because in the Torah we're going to call, there's only these. The Torah, the Nevi'im, and the Kethium, right? So the Torah is the Exodus and the book, and then the Nevi'im is the prophets, and the Ketuvim is the writings.
Right.
If that ain't in what they talking about was written, we're talking about traditions of man. So now when we are talking about traditions of man, we're talking about either one of the Talmuds, whether it be the Jerusalem Talmud or the later Talmud. It's still the traditions of man. When we go back in scripture to I was going to pull it up. When Moses was going up to the burning mountain, all these elders that wrote this oral translation were too afraid to actually go and speak to the Most High when they had the opportunity to. As we're talking about the history and we're putting forth all of what man has done, and we're trying to analyze that, we cannot X out what the Most High's word is in this, right? Because we're talking all around the Most High, but let's see what the Most High say, right? The Most High gave all of these dudes the opportunity to walk with Moses and come to the mountain and get the word directly from him. They said, nah, we don't want to do that. You go ahead and do it, Moses. And it's in Numbers, man. Hold up. I got it from here. Anyway, it's in Numbers and it's in Exodus, right? So, not because I just read it the other night. It might be this Numbers 14, 18. I'm going to crack that out right now. So, when we understand that these dudes told Moses, you go ahead and do it because we're afraid to go. So if Moses got the book and Moses got the Torah and he was the one that actually went to the Most High and got the actual word, then what is a Talmud? What is man's tradition? It's just man being afraid or man trying to negotiate what it's already the Most High has said has to be done. So Numbers 14, verse 18 and 19. Let me get my glasses on. It says, and say to the people, purify yourselves, for tomorrow you shall eat meat, for you have kept whining before the Most High, saying, if only we had meat to eat. Indeed, we were better out of Egypt. The Most High will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat eat not 1 day, not 2, not even 5 days, or 10 or 20 days, but a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils and becomes loathsome to you. I read this because that was when it was leaving out and they were mad at Moses, right? These same elders that would not go up and speak to the Most High. They're getting at Moses because of what the Most High has said. And now they say, man, we should have just stayed in Egypt. We should have just stayed with the Babylonians. We should have just stayed with all of the rituals and everything else because we was eating good. We want meat. The Most High said, well, you know what? You want some meat? I'm not going to give you meat for a week. I'm not going to give you meat for this. I'm going to give you a meat for a whole month in 1 day, and you're going to eat it. We always ask the question, why did the people that was in the 40 go through the wilderness of 40 years? How did they all die? Because they kept trying to negotiate what the Most High says. So when we have this up here that my brother has, and it's talking about this Mishnah, and it's talking about the Amora, and and these particular ones that may have helped create this Mishnah. But when you hear about Mishnahs nowadays, it is strictly of the Ashkenazi, of the Mezorite, the Cadites, what he's about to bring out. So,
wait. So we got to admit this, that after the time period of the Tanakh, and the certain people who were dealing with the Talmud and what we call the Mishnah and the 613 commandments that they made for the Gentiles to come into their governance and certain things, and to be a part of their system and shit, right? Mm-hmm. They did this. It's really for them. When they made up them 613, they were doing it to govern over other people, Gentiles, so to speak. Yes. Dark-skinned people. People. Yeah. They almost made it so hard where you could not be a full citizen if you couldn't follow those 613 commandments. See what I'm saying?
Is all bullcrap.
It's bullshit. Right now, we're on the same page. Now let's get. They knew. I'm talking about dark-skinned people. See, I'm in Black History Month. Black Devil. You heard me? Hey,
but the 613. But check it out. The 613 came directly from the Mezorite, Karaite priest, which were converts, which was never a part of us. This whole concept of 613 came from Caucasians. Right.
613 came from what?
The Caucasian.
What when you say the 600? The elite comers got like what was it? What we got 500 AD that they came into the conversion of it. You know what I mean, based off of the king and everything, conversion. What you got on that?
Everybody likes to go to when the Khazarians flipped. Right. But before the Khazarians were the Greeks and the Romans. The Sanhedrin was created. That body which created the Talmud was there way before the Khazarians came in. So a lot of this flip ain't got necessarily to go with the Khazarians. It ain't all plugged upon them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I bet money. Now check this out. Pull back the link. Pull up that link again. Pull up the link. I want you to get the whole thing. That last link. This is a definition. I want people to get it so we don't make nobody meet no context. Now, we're talking about people that are not, and some of them are mixed people underneath the same faith. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
At this
saying.
time. All right.
That's
now,
what I'm saying. That you had,
now,
it was
now I
in
want to make sure that's clear.
589 BC. Remember, 589 BC is when the Greeks took our temple. They didn't sack it. I mean, Nebuchadnezzar, 589. It wasn't until 70 AD when the Romans did it. But in 589, Nebuchadnezzar came in with the Persians, and they became one with us. And they started taking over all of our political parts in BC, 589 BC. I just want to make sure that everybody got that particular timeline as we moving forward, that we were moved out as the people that were making control of things in 589. That's why we have the book of Daniel that speaks of the prophecies and everything being sealed up, and we were going to be in captivity until. When we talk about these conversions, we have to realize a lot of those people that what they may call the Moors and the blacks that were part, all these ones are people that converted unto Judaism. Feel me? Judaism.
But there's no J's at that time, even though.
Right, but it's still the Sanhedrin. It's still the Talmud, which became Judaism.
Right. So even when that time frame, what we're calling Judaism with the J, the people with the Greek and the Roman that are dark-skinned people who are following after this system and living in this time frame, dark-skinned people. See,
dark-skinned too, yes.
Want to admit, look, this
absolutely.
In religion, in a lot of religious camps, I should say, that follow this information, they're making it seem as if the white man is the one that only was a part of this system. And that's not true. That's not
They can
true.
look at themselves. They can look at themselves and see if they were able to actually have any clarity. They would see that they are not supposed to be fighting the Caucasian over the Caucasian doctrine. And what I mean by that is when you are a camp and you are enlisting the New Testament as part of your every word of this thing is written and is true, that you have fallen into the deception. You have fallen into the game of them, and you can't never win if you're holding on to the New Testament, because there ain't no wins in that, because that's, again, just like the Talmud, is the doctrine and the words of man. It's the letters of Paul.
Okay. All right, now. I'm glad. That's why I brought you on here for this now. That's why I'm doing this like this. Now, Pete Gay, we're going to slide down where everybody get this. It says, because the Babylonian Amorim worked about a century longer than their counterparts in Palestine, completing their work about AD 500. Scoot up for me, God. God, pull up for me real quick. Pull up a little more. The Talmud, Babylonian Talmud, was more comprehensive and consequently more authoritative than the Talmud Jerusalem, the Palestine Talmud, which lacks the Babylonian interpretations. In Palestine, an ordained, excuse me, some people say things differently, so I said it both ways, Amora, a singular for Amorim, was called a rabbi. In Babylonia, a Rav. Today we say Rev in America. We do it up, Rev. Rav. Rev.
Yeah, dig.
And then it says, oh, no, don't miss that part. Or Mar. M-A-R.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that. It's just tucked away right there.
You see, it's at the end.
Yeah.
It's at the end. This is significant to a Rav, a rabbi. The term M-A-R. You heard me? What that sound like to you when people been talking about Moors, dark-skinned people, you know what I'm saying, in this period that are doing certain things, you know what I mean, following certain laws, in certain positions, running court systems, noble positions, knights, warriors. This is a time frame. There were the 613 commandments are being upheld, and there are dark-skinned people upholding this against what we call Gentiles or new people coming into their systems based off of the regions that they're governing over, based off of the goddamn court system that's being ran by rabbis. Or at this time, I should say, Amorim. Dark-skinned Amorim.
In 200 AD.
Yeah. Dark-skinned Amorim. Right?
Yeah, something in there.
We can't act like it's just white people doing this, right? Black History Month. Can we do that?
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Because the root comes from Amar, doesn't mean that the rabbis that were in 200 AD were Amar. I feel where you're going with it, and to even support what you're saying. Look, our people, so many people think that Yahweh is the God of the Hebrews because of exactly what you're saying right now. Because the Israelites or the Yashraelites, because we were not ever called Israelites, the Yashraelites believed in all of the gods of Moab, Ammon, the Ammonites, the Palestinians, which were your Phoenicians, which were your Canaanites. We believed in all of their gods so much that people actually think that that's who our gods are. Like they'll go back to a certain point of antiquity and they'll say and read that the Israelites were giving praise to Yahweh. But they don't go before that point in time to realize that Yahweh was a moon god, and that was the derivation of what the original was. Higher was the name that was given. I am was what Moses told him. Before that, it was El Shaddai. So where they get this variation or transliteration to Yahweh doesn't happen. There is no transliteration from Ahaya to Yahweh. There is no transliteration from Al Shaddai to Yahweh. Yahweh is a moon god. But because of a certain time period, our people that can be identified as Israelites were worshiping them. Now, as it has gone on from there, people believe that that is that. Again, with the Amar. The Amar was the original of the elders. Yes, in the original text, the elders, the Mars, when Moses was there, they were called Mars. Then it transliterated into rabbis when you had your new influx of people that brought in their transliteration of language, and that Mars became Rab to Rabi, which we obviously know is not. It is a Yiddish. It is a Yiddish interpretation of Rabbi or rabbi. So we also know that when they came in, that the Yiddish came in the 600s. So the Mar that was in 200 AD, yeah, that may have been for the blacks that was there in 500 that was still there trying to do it in the first century. Because then even when you have, if we want to even touch upon the New Testament, the dude that was Yasha that they quoted and read, he said, don't ever call nobody rabbi. So if you got a Nazarene who has been put up as this Jesus image, and he says in his own word, don't call no man father because only the one above is your creator, then even if there's a Mar there, it goes back to what I'm saying is the elders were the one that went astray, these Talmuds, all these men that want to be some position of rulership.
Right. Now, look, I want to say this to you first. And because of these days and time, we have courts, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's city courts, you know what I mean? State courts, federal court, you know what I mean? Supreme Court, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Courts, right? And there's men judging men, giving numbers out, football numbers. Super Bowl numbers, you know what I mean?
Right.
And at the same time, me, when I say I'm a Yehudi in modern day time, understand the etymology of the word, I'm dealing with me and my connection to the Creator, without a judge, without a priest, without a any. There's no and the word Yashrael, that they call Israelite, is an action that a Yehudi is supposed to take to be in oneness with the Creator, and not have no in between situations.
Right, Yehudi means Judah. What Judah, Yehudi means to give praise. It's Yah, and when you look at the Paleo Hebrew, Yehudi is the Y, is the Yah is giving praise unto the Creator. That's what.
No in between. No in between.
No rabbi, no elder. Yeah, none of that. When we had the right system in place, we brought sacrifices to the priest. Most High was still the one that was given the forgiveness or not. All you did was give it to the priest to actually do the work that to make you purified. The priest didn't give you no barakas from the Most High, the blessings or none of that.
The baraka, that's not Barack Obama. You heard me? Because I know Barak means
blessing, and that plural is baraka. Yeah.
Yeah, Baraka. You heard me? It means blessing, by the way. But if anybody didn't catch that in Black History Month, that was a term for blessing, Baraka. You heard me?
That's right.
Like Barack Obama. You heard me? By the way.
That's right.
Anyways, you know what I mean? But yeah. Give me the next link real quick. I'm sorry. We're on the same page though. I want people to catch this. I want people to catch this though. All right, so now this is another word. This is my Black History Month word of this conversation tonight. It's called hakam. You know what I mean? Hakam. You know what I mean? This is a quick little word I want to throw in there. It's interesting because it caught my attention because me and you were just talking about. Pull up a little bit so they can get the context of this word. And it says hakam or shahkam. However you see the variations, means wise. It is a term in Judaism meaning a wise or skillful man. It often refers to someone who is a great Torah scholar. It can also refer to any cultured and learned person. He who says a wise thing is called in Hakmah, even if he is not a Jew. Hence, in Talmudic, the Midrashic literature, wise Gentiles are commonly called Hakami.
Wise men of nations of the
wise men of the nations of the world. I had to get that to them tonight for all the Gentiles and indigenous folk, because they knew when they came across indigenous people that were Gentiles, they still said these niggas is on some shit. You hear me? You feel me, God? That's an interpretation. Let you know when they came across, they were like, them Gentiles in this land, these Aboriginals, these some wise motherfuckers. You heard me?
Not Aboriginals. Read the line underneath that though. Underneath in ancient times. Read that line right there.
Okay, hold on. Slide down. Sephardic
Hakim is an official title.
You know what I'm saying?
Found.
Slide down, God.
Say Hakim as an official title is found as early, meaning that you ain't never heard of Hakam or this outside wise person until the Sanhedrin, which is when the Greeks came in and the Romans and took us out and put us and gave us a gymnasium and gave us white women. Facts.
That part. All right, let's slide again. We're gonna slide again. I see. That's why I'm talking to you about this tonight. I know you be doing the Hebrew state of being. Give a real quick plug.
Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays around 9:30. I try to get on at 8:30, but y'all know the life happens with the family, so I usually get on no later than 9:30, 10. But Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we do a Shabbat lesson every Friday, man. So yeah, when we look at these words and like you said, and I love the way you break the words down and go hot, him, but it's really with ham. Was at the end of that. Right?
Yeah, you seen that.
But Hamite, you know what I'm saying? When they were considering, when this word first came up, their concept was an outside person was a Hamite, a Canaanite. Because we were Palestinians, we were all mixed in together. So they gave it to a Hamite, an Egyptian, an African, not a rabbi. You know what I'm saying? It was how come? Because it was for the brothers that was in there. It was a Shemitic and Hamitic was together.
Mixing.
Right. So that's why this, just make sure that people really take a look at everything that is written, because there's a lot of trickery in them words, man.
All right, I got you. What we got next, God? Let's pull up the next joint real quick. See, this is the I'm trying to use these joints to lead our conversations so we can be constructive with our thoughts. You heard me?
Yes.
People think to be this. I like to, keep it that way so we can keep everybody in context where we're going from. It's not like we pointing at each other or nothing in our conversation. You heard me? We're talking about with the source at the minute. Now, it says the story of Sephardim and the Ladino language. Now, earlier you mentioned the Ladino, right? And you said Ladino.
Ladino, yeah. That's us. Mm-hmm.
That's dark-skinned people, right? Now, boom. Slide down, God. Let's give him this work real quick. Let me see this real quick. Yeah. Let's see this real quick. Yeah, stop right there. It says, after the destruction of the second temple in Jerusalem, those Jews who were not taken to Rome as slaves, scattered all over the world. A
All over,
large
man.
group of these Jews settled in Spain and became known as Sephardim, from the Hebrew word Sephard, meaning Spain. They learned Spanish language, and for the next 700 years, led a very peaceful life there, living side by side with both Christians and Moors.
700
At
years.
700 years. At that time, Spain was ruled by Moors, Muslims in North Africa, and they were happy to have as neighbors these Jews, a people with so many talents. It was a wonderful time for Spain in the history books to refer to it as Spain's golden age. It's what the Moors like to talk about, 711
Oh
to
yeah.
1492.
Oh, they
You know what I
love
mean? I
it.
want to make sure I point that out. You hear me? This is the time reign of the Moorish group, you know what I mean? Black folk like to point out, right?
Yeah.
Now look, then it comes in and says, this quiet period in the Jewish history was spoiled by the wars between the Christian and the Moors, or I should say Muslims, or I should, and the Muslims and the Moors. Lost more battles and more land until all that remained for them was one city, Granada. When Spain became Catholic country and King Ferdinand of Castile married Queen Isabella of Aragon, together they decided, I'm tripping, to banish all non-Catholics. You know what I'm saying? All non-Catholics. So, passed new laws making it quite impossible for them to live there.
Yep.
Neither Moors or Jews could deal in spices, be doctors, moneylenders, and had to live in separate districts, which would be locked and guarded at night.
Yep. So now you take a people. I want to stop right
Make
there
sure you
because
hear that
people
real quick.
don't you had people that were civilized. You had people that were running estates, running governments, doctors that were bankers, now being shut into a ghetto. Because that first time they ever gave the terminology for ghetto was for Jews. Look that up historically.
That's facts.
So,
that's facts.
so now you have put them and created the first ghetto and now put your people in as the people that's in charge. The same thing as the Sanhedrin. Same thing as when they did to us over there. What I'm saying is that colonialism has had a consistency in the way it does ever since we were kicked out of Jerusalem in 586. I'm saying that you can watch the pattern of them taking over our people that's in charge, putting their people in all the way to America, to where now we can't get in any top positions. Any positions we get into at the top are slim to none. We understand that we are told that we're 13%. So I know everybody knows each other that's black, and we know some people that's doing some things, and we all know doctors and lawyers, but understand that the census says that we're 13% of this nation. Now, when you look at how many of that 13% is actually doctors, lawyers, and whatnot, then you understand the amplification of what I'm saying. That all of the top positions have been and will continue to be nepotism, whether their kids are smarter than us or not. The same that it happened in here.
Bad money. Check this out. I'm gonna read this real quick. We're gonna move to the next slide because my timing, right? I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. I appreciate you pulling up on us for this conversation. It's people that people need to hear these conversations like this. You know what I mean? We're gonna do this a lot this year, Charlie. We're gonna tap into some other things in a minute. You know what I mean? But all right, you see, I'm gonna skip to the right hand side because see how in bold letters it got Ladino there. Anybody can see on page it got Ladino in bold letters. You know what I mean? In that second paragraph where it says, and so the Sephardic Jews, including my own family, who had lived in Spain for so many centuries and arrived still clutching the keys to their Spanish home, settled to a relatively good life in Turkey for the next 500 years. And to this day, many of us still speak 15th century Spanish, the Judeo-Spanish language called Ladino. They didn't say Latin.
They did not.
They didn't say Latin. They said Ladino. And then it says, which over the years incorporated many Turkish, Hebrew, and Greek words. Those Jews who settled in the countries around North Africa adapted these languages to Judeo or Arabic. Look,
Judeo-Arabic.
You see that, right? Judeo-Arabic. So the Judeo still is the anchor. Arabic still part, but Judeo is the anchor. One called Hakatia. These are words I want to give people in Black History Month when he search this history of people. You know what I'm saying? So people can kind of see the mixtures and different things they went through before they came to America.
Yes.
This is over there. Details of people that are dark-skinned people in this particular religious ideal they call today of Judaism, or I like to say Yahudism. You know what I'm saying? Yahudism. You know what I'm saying? But slide down a little bit, God, real quick. I think it's something else right there. I want to get that part right there. It says, matter of fact, I need that. This part, this last paragraph, we're gonna move to the next slide. It says in this paragraph here, it says, for most of his lifetime, Ladino was written in Hebrew alphabet.
That's right.
You see that keyword?
Oh yeah.
For most of his lifetime, Ladino was written in the Hebrew alphabet, in Rasha script, or in the solitero, a cursive method of writing letters. It was only in the 20th century that Ladino was ever written using the Latin alphabet. 20th century, dude. The word Latin comes into play. Yeah, that's come on. What's what? People be talking about Latin. When they say they Latin, but Latin is some new shit.
Very new. That's right. Yes, it is. Yes. The old thing that was Latin was called Pig Latin. That was the old Latin, and that was obviously
Ladino. Pig Latin is Ladino. See,
not this.
Think about it. They call them pigs, Moranos. They called the Moranos who spoke Ladino.
So that was their terminology to disgrace it and say Pig Latin. Wow, I never thought. Yeah.
Come on, let's move on and slide. I'm serious shit.
Nice.
Like, the Morano is
let me tell you why I was not
derogatory term for the Ladino speaking Jew that's dark skinned in the 15th century after the edicts.
Now, see, I'm being from Louisiana and that heavy Christian, thing. They made us come from a position that Pig Latin, and I just, because of how they get it, I thought, well, Pig is how they was into it, so it was Latin because they represented the pig. But the church, but then I always asked us, well, why the church always said their stuff in Pig Latin? They don't speak Latin in the Christian churches in New Orleans. They go to the Hebrew Pig Latin of the original. Now that you say, wow, salute.
Ladino.
Salute.
All right,
yeah.
Appreciate the
nice.
You
know
what I mean? Moorish Latin is Ladino. And Ladino were the Moranos who they called pigs because they wouldn't eat pig. You know
and that's the same thing. A Christos was a derogatory term that became into Christian. You know what I'm saying? Right. So yeah. Now I'm with you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna slide on in. Okay, then.
All right. I gotta give you guys some water. You got the yaya. Oh, we about to get busy, baby.
I only got I got like 25 minutes, maybe. You know?
All right, let me some water.
Okay, no pressure. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to see this real quick, y'all. We're gonna pull up, you know what I mean? Super Bowl Sunday. We're running late, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm trying to cover a couple ground real quick. You feel me? And this is how we conversating and doing this on this blog. You know what I mean? This blog of our mix show part of conversation. Pull up the next joint with Yaya. You heard me? Because I need to pull up Yaya because his family lineage is now look from a Black history standpoint. I don't want people to mix the dope with me. You feel me? Because I like history overall. A Black history, as they call it, a Black history.
Right.
You know what I mean? I always loved Black history, as they call it, right? So now when it comes to the indigenous, the European, the African, you know what I mean? I'm researching all your shit. I'm not biased to researching none of y'all shit, like because I was raised in a Black history mind state to know anything that's dealing with dark skinned people. We supposed to understand the history of it, that type
Right.
shit. You know what I mean, like
Right.
I don't know. People have changed it in this new era. It's weird.
It
You know
is
what I mean? But
very.
either way,
Yeah.
I don't get caught up in that part. I ain't gonna let that corrupt my my purity of dark melanated,
Research.
copper
Yeah.
colored people that were in different regions and their backgrounds and cultures
Right.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
And
beautiful.
separate them because everybody can't be the same. Now,
No.
you don't have a melting pot if everybody is, even
The
if you want to
same.
say religiously that everybody is from Adam and Eve, they all went and did their own separate things over time and became nations of people. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's written in the book. Feel me?
Yes, it
If you
is.
want to say they separated from the ways of God, or whatever you want to say, they still became their own nations of people and civilizations doing their own thing despite their color of skin. You know what I mean? So I don't really care about all the other shit really at this point because our people doing it today, right now. You feel
Right
me?
now.
So who am I to judge? Now I don't. No, man, we don't have to do the video. I just want to show this. I just want to show the website. Just dealing with things because the website was good enough. I mean, Yaya the Negro, you're gonna have to tap in. I want them to give him just because he put some information there. You see I want that information part. Just real quick. You know what I mean? Quick slide. It's nothing heavy. Because Yaya the Negro is somebody in Black history again. We always gotta give. Can you zoom in a little bit without clicking on the link?
Yeah.
Now I actually gave this man a shout out, God. You feel me? Who did
Yeah.
this video? You know what I
Shout
mean?
out
I
to my
gave him a
brother
shout
Benny
out.
Yah. Yes.
That's your boy, right? It's your boy.
Yeah.
Feel me? He did this video. He did the
Yeah.
Hidden Hebrew series on King David is hard. You feel me? And he put it in context. I had to give him a shout out. Now the thing is, it says so. I happened on one of these the vids about 1/2 of the Hebrew Israelite community, and most say that the production value was top notch. A little overly dramatic for my taste, but it will definitely get you to watch. The part they presented about the Black Jews of Portugal seems compelling, though. It is when they got into Africa to explain the Jews everywhere. So I hit the brakes. He caught it. He caught the smoke. He trying to show the video. I'm reading common context, right? But no, yeah, go into this part. It's the part. Now, this part right here is where it gets interesting. He says, but even then, it's interesting, surprisingly less annoying than I thought it would be. The narrator made it seem like a Sudan or Negro land, were primarily made up of foreign blacks mixed with Afro Portuguese. It's just the reality, though, they played no small part in the Atlantic trade, especially the trade in slaves. I set out to find more information about Yahya Ben Negro. Now, this is the first time. Think about this, bro. Tell me what you think about this. On the indigenous side, folk always are always understanding that in this, from a cultural standpoint, when our indigenous side of our family, we're now put underneath a system and labeled Negroes. You feel me, God agree? In the Americas. So we understand that we dark skinned, but we were underneath called an Indian or Aboriginal when the Spanish, the French, and the British who came and did agreements with these people. That's the documentation you're finding, right? But as you integrate it within those colonies and mix with the different peoples of these nations of people of these colonies, you now are taking upon a mixture, and you might be led by the surnames of that mixture that's foreign to this land, taking over the indigenous part of it, but still is connected to a language and also a law system that some of them are underneath. You feel where I'm coming from?
I got
Such
you.
as the word Negro, right? And this word Negro is going back, and I always state in Black history, we pushed it back last year, right, God? Yah, you see it's right there. What do you say about him? He said, Yahya Ayabish. Am I saying it right? Ibn Ya'ish. That's the first man, the number one. But when we go back to here, it says, I set out to find more information about Yahya ben Negro. Negro goes back to the 11th century, not the 15th century.
Nope.
Not America.
Nope.
The first person labeled a Negro is a Jew.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying, God? Am I tripping?
No.
And his lineage became called rabbis, which means they would have been all Mora.
Yeah. They
They
would
would
have
have been all Mora. You know what I'm saying, God? That's the time frame because it's dealing with the written midrash and, you know what I mean? Running courts and underneath the king and everything they underneath and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But they dark skinned folk. They giving land and their family living in that land amongst Gentiles. You feel me? But the king's like, you gonna count this money for me and send me my money, and I'm gonna let you run that shit. You feel me? Run it. But the king like, nigga, as long as you get the money back, but something shit happened, they were like, oh, we gotta take the land for them niggas. They niggas throw too much now. Shit, they run the whole system. We gotta move them out of there. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? They went from being Mars to being Blackamoors. You hear me?
True that.
Ladinos and Lacondos and terms like that. The derogatory terms of stripping them of their nobility positions that they were already holding in those societies, in those civilizations in North Africa, the Iberian Peninsula, you know what I mean? The Mediterranean and West Africa, underneath the kings and queens that gave them position to do it in the 11th and 12th century. These are dark-skinned people we talking about now.
Yeah.
You feel me? His whole line right there. Solomon, Ibn, Yahya, Ha, Zakin. You know what I mean? Because niggas like to say, oh, it's pseudo. Niggas go research these niggas. You heard what I said? Because they call themselves niggas then. You heard me? I ain't making it up. Negro land and everything attached to these people. You're going to have to show me different. That's what I mean.
Yep. And they ain't got no difference to that. They ain't got no, that's the info.
That's the facts.
Yeah.
You see what it says? 1150, right?
Yeah.
Slide. I need to slide. We got to slide. I want to point some things out before we get out of here tonight. I got to point some. It's 1150. Peep the timeline. Because I stay in timelines of everything I do. I try to keep in the timeline. So when nobody think I'm tripping, everything land with a timeline chronologically. You feel me? So if it's not my time, this is their time, and you can't say it's not my time. You got to go off their time and tell me if they time off. You heard me? Because I ain't make this shit up.
So what time was that just now?
1150, right?
So that's in between 1066 when the Templars and 1290 and the English Edict expulsion. So in between that and the Templars, we got the Ladinos and everybody trying to do, and then all that kind of collapses upon them.
Oh, you on point? Pull up the joint. Let's go. You on right on point now. You catch it. We on the same conversation timeline wise. Now the Knights of Templars, right? The Knights of Templars. Some people might not know what their origin is, who they really is. Because Yahya, the Negro, he's a rabbi. He's a warrior too. Remember, he's a warrior. He's not just a rabbi. He's a warrior, like a Knight of Templar. He's like a Knight of Templar. You feel me? That's what he almost like he is. Now, peek that right there. Peek now. Calm down. Oh, look, this ain't my joint. You know what I'm saying? Inner mystery is the Egypt and now. This is from what it is. What it is? What's the website? Give it to me real quick. I want them to think I'm tripping. AncientOrigins.net. AncientOrigins.net. Now we're gonna come slide down. Look, get to the part where we're gonna get to. We gotta move on. Now, boom, right there, bold letters. The origin. No, give it to him. I'm gonna read it to him. The origins of the Knights of Templar, descendants of Jewish elders. We're gonna read right there. It says the Knights of Templar initially arrived in the Holy Land on a mission to reclaim some treasure. Slide over. That they believe was rightfully theirs. According to the modern Templar historian Tim Wallace Murphy and Christopher Knight, the Knights who banded together as the Knights of Templar were part of a wave of a European royalty descended from the Jewish elders that had fled to the Holy Land around 70 AD. And when it was invaded by the Romans. The Knights of Templars, elders, are of the origin with their mixtures of the lineage. You hear me? They're telling you this. Now slide down. I mean, think you give it a little bit something to segue into my next post. Because I always try to lead it this way so I could be in point right here now. Let's start right now. It says, before leaving their homeland, the elders had hidden their temple treasures in priceless Essene and Kabbalistic. You see that word Kabbalistic?
Yeah.
Make sure you pay attention. You see where it say Kabbalistic scrolls and strategic regions of the Holy Land so that the Roman invaders, Titus, could not plunder them as the spoils of war. The Jewish elders then immigrated to Europe. There, many of them married into the continent's noble families. Of these elders, 24 would become the patriarchs of a group of European families known as the I always mess that word up. You help me God agree in my church.
Sobriquet.
Sobriquet. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it right if I wanted to. Sobriquet, that's where I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it at that. Please read it and get it. That's why we show the source. And it says of the Rex, Dues, or Star families. You heard me? Huh? Rex Deuce?
Star
Rex
family.
Deuce? Star families. You heard me? Star families. This is Knights of Templar, Jewish elders, Star families. Yeah, all that.
Nah.
Europe, First Crusades, everything. All that going to be connected going into the 15th century, right? Well, actually, Knights of Templar before the 15th century, right? You feel me? Peak game. This also Yahya time frame.
But Yahya was in the south. They was nowhere up
I
by
know that.
Jerusalem. Yeah.
I get that part, but I'm just showing you because these people were in Europe. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
We already showed you Scotland.
And that's what they said. They came from the Europe. So you're talking about you had the twins of Tamar, right? Which is I can't believe I can't remember the name. But anyway, the twins of Tamar, which is the Judah line of Torah. Anyway, I can't forget the two lines, but I'm gonna put it in here. But anyway, and they went to the north. So, is that the ones they can be talking about? Because I'm trying to figure out what royalty of Britain that they're talking about. They're not talking about the Scots or whatnot. So when they talk about a royalty from the Britain, then
interesting. This is a conversation, man. I'm just
yeah, I like it. No, I'm gonna continue.
Nice
Perez and Zara. Perez and Zara. Zara were the twins of Tamar, which was from Judah. And when you go to their family line, it was the Zara line that went to the north, I believe.
Bet money. All right, boom. I wanted this, everybody to catch this so they can do their research on it. You know what I mean? They talk about the Knights of Templar having descent from a Jewish, Yahudi, you know what I mean, Hebrew Israelite lineage and culture and traditions, you know what I mean, of Omora and Tanum, rabbis, etc. in their lineage. All right, let's pull off to the next one. Okay, I gotta move. We gotta, shout out to Super Bowl Sunday. Music me allowed let it go a little over because everybody might be tapping a little later than ever. You know what I mean? We live. Yeah, that mean that I need the first couple minutes of this video because this is gonna give me this. I put it on the flyer, so I gotta show you this. I'll be capping if I don't at least present this part was the origins of Kabbalah. You know what I mean? And the Knights of Templar, before you play it, the Knights of Templar are going to lead in Europe 2 lodges and then later lodges in 17th century of Freemasonry. Not the brick masonry that the Knights of Templar were doing, but the Freemasonry in 17th century in the actual spiritual system that they carried from the Knights of Templars era of those Jewish elders to go into this Freemasonic 17th century situation of the philosophy that they held within their traditions of what we call Freemasonry. I'm going to let the man speak for himself. God Green, play the clip real quick. We're going to play the first couple of minutes. We're going to keep it moving. This is coming from a Scottish Freemason.
Well, as Jason mentioned, my name is Gene Yushenko, and I am part of Templar Lodge 126. For those of you who don't know me. And I have the pleasure of talking to you guys today on the topic of Kabbalah in Freemasonry. Kabbalah, the short version of it is it's Jewish mysticism, and for a long time, ever since kind of childhood, I've been fascinated by Judaism. I'm not Jewish myself; I am actually Christian, but about Judaism really attracted me, the mystical side of it, or the
Of course.
seemed just very unknown to me, and it that was the allure that kind of drew me in. So I started out one of my friends visiting from Chicago one time who was Jewish. On Yom Kippur, he invited me to go to synagogue with him, and I did. Where after which I picked up a flyer for Judaism 101 class, and that was a year-long class that I kind of took, and that led me eventually to Kabbalah, and Kabbalah was eventually what led me to Freemasonry, and that's how I'm here today talking to you guys. That was kind of the progression of things, and of course
How you turn the
along
trick out 101.
with other esoteric thoughts and philosophies such as alchemy and hermeticism. Once you kind of start exploring the esoteric side of Freemasonry, you realize that all of these schools of thought are interrelated.
Thank you.
The reason that
Hermeticism
Kabbalah
is intertwined. Thought.
because just from my own personal findings, or this is subjective, it seemed like it was the ancient of the more ancient of the ones of the esoteric schools that I was looking at, and that's why, kind of given the previous background that I had, I kind of got into it. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And the first question, for all of us would be, why should a Mason even care about
Gotta give you
Kabbalah?
this.
The reason is because Kabbalah is a part of our rituals and symbols. It is prevalent within our lodge, even the layout of the lodge. It is prevalent within our rituals.
Yeah.
Furthermore, it gives deeper meaning to our craft. This is what we talk about further light in Masonry. We all are there to improve ourselves and to become better men. And Kabbalah is a philosophical school of thought that provides that. As I just was mentioning, it does provide a moral and a spiritual guidance besides the philosophical.
That's supposed to be for the craft. The craft is supposed to come out of the morals
and
philosophy.
Right.
Within Masonry, we focus on the King Solomon's temple. This theme is prevalent throughout our degrees and our allegories. And the building of this temple is actually the spiritual temple within all of us. Kabbalah provides that building plan and order behind that design. Within Kabbalah, there is a practical and as well as a spiritual application on life, and that's what I liked. There are things that you can extract, the practical side of things that you can use. You can look through the lens of Kabbalah and the Kabbalistic tree, or the tree of life,
The
which we'll see
humanistic
later
thought
in the
tree.
presentation.
To
You
thought.
can apply that, to any decision you make, to
You can apply thought to any decision that you
any
make in the philosophy
situation
of thought.
faced, as well as you can draw
Pose on God.
on spirituality
Pose on
from
God.
meditation.
So look.
I'm sorry,
like
bro.
I said,
I'm sorry.
you see. Now, but I mean, he is Scottish.
He ain't shit.
Right.
He ain't.
He
ain't
said
shit.
Kabbalah, and Kabbalah go before his shit.
Hold on, bro.
Spiritual system. All these spiritual systems are prior to even Freemasonry. The Kabbalah, the Zohar. Look, I got the book. Look, I got the Zohar. Right. I got these books that you can go research. They're all going to back up this information that all these, popular people, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know what I mean?
And all those books come from one source. All those books you just came from come from one source. That's the Emerald Tablets. That's Thoth. No, not the Torah. No, they do not. They do not come from the Torah.
Not the Torah, but I'm saying the Torah is the law that is supposed to be to combine us to move in a civilized manner to keep peace. But the spiritual system, like you said, the Emerald Tablets is going to be anciently the tablets that
we can't even prove that they're ancient. One, they can't find the tablets. Two, they think it was possibly written in Aramaic. Three, it's a philosophy. We have to understand that philosophy and law. When we allow philosophy to be before the law, then we are putting a cart before the horse. The shit don't work. It ain't gonna go nowhere. You're gonna be sitting there doing rituals, lighting sage, and thinking something gonna happen, and all you doing is calling upon spirits. Look, let's get real technical. The stuff that you had before the article, it had the Essene and the you were talking about the Talmud. It had the Templar. It was a Templar, and it said the Essenes, the precious, the priceless works of the Essenes and the Kabbalah scrolls. The Essenes are the opposite. They tried to say that the Essenes wrote the Dead Sea Scrolls. This is part of the trickery and the 3-card Molly that they put out to try and connect Kabbalah, to connect them to the Dead Sea Scrolls, to connect them to the Most High and some ancient words. But that's not true. The Essenes were not the ones in Qumran that was in Mossad, that was in Qumran that was fighting. It was not the Essenes. The Essenes was a sect on the outside that was a philosophy that was Caucasians, that was part of the Greeks and the whatchamacallits, and they were putting their spin on it. So when we understand that him saying that he's went from Catholic to Jew to Kabbalah, he ain't but a turnstile. He's nothing. This person is not a Scottish. He's not anything. He is regurgitating a collection of information that he has come across. He has no foundation of who he is at all. He's nothing.
Now look, this is the thing. Now, if you know you're Yehudi and you're one with the Creator, the Kabbalah, the Zohar, the Sefer Yetzir, these different things can make sense to you. But like you said, if you're not understanding your foundation from the foundation, then you're not going to be able to use none of the information to apply yourself to what it's really talking about, dealing with the esoteric, meaning within yourself, knowledge of the ladder of Jacob in between the two pillars of Jokan and Boaz. You heard me? Now,
and that's the truth. Let me give you something on that, on it, right? In the beginning, the Most High did not want us to have a king. He didn't want us to have any other thing that we were looking to as a translation. He wanted exactly what you're talking about, us to have a spiritual relationship directly with him, and he lead us by talking directly to us. That is what mysticism and esoteric is all trying to write books on, that process of how that you can manifest that in a certain manner, right?
Right.
But the Most High didn't put those words in order for you to do that. He gave you the Torah to do that. So this is why I keep saying it's two dicks in the back of a church, because it's just not supposed to be. You giving something.
Church. You already said that shit was a mean bar. He said, "Hey, no homo."
Yeah,
niggas getting fined for that term now.
You're right.
Say these things, I gotta catch myself.
But it don't mix. It's never gonna connect. It don't have the socket. It does not a male and female. It's not gonna hit, because the Torah and you the female in the Most High. He's the creator. He's the male. That's the socket and fit, and it's perfect because you got a pineal gland that directly connects to him. You got it. Your mysticism, your spiritualism comes from you following his law. He said, when you follow the law, then I'm going to start talking to you. I'm going to start opening things. You ain't got to go to no white man, because mysticism of Kabbalah started by the Khazarians. It was never heard of prior to the Khazarians in the 14th or the 15th century. So the original ones.
It go back to the 11th century now. Second Temple. They say Abraham and.
Say that again. What temple?
Folk were dealing with. See, look, this word Kabbalicism is being twisted between two different sides too. You know what I mean? Because when you look at the word, it's going to be dealing with received. You know what I mean? To receive something in a righteous way, or you can receive it in a wicked way once you tap into the tree.
The etymology of Kabbalah, the Kabbalah, the root of Kabbalah or Kabbal is to mean scriptures that are hidden
orally.
Not orally. No, it's supposed to mean hidden knowledge of what is already written. So when I read the 10 Commandments, right, and I want to put that in a Kabbalah situation, right? So when I read the 10 Commandments and I see it says, "Have no other gods." Now, in a cabal and looking at it for what the ancient or what the deeper meaning is if I follow this law, then I won't get caught up in no esoteric other type of thing of any other God or any other doctrine, because the deeper level is that he's trying to protect me from ideologies and from doctrines.
Right.
Let me go. So that's so when I
but if you in alignment with Yasharel, right? Straight path to El, right? As they say, right? Straight path.
Right.
And you understand the esoteric meaning of it as a Yahudi, then you know that there is no other path between you and a higher power, micro, macro. And however you give it out in your own explanation orally to your family member, understanding that there's nobody in between your family, your ancestors that came before you, that keep you sustainable, and the higher powers that you tap into. If it's nature, you know what I mean? If the natural laws, you know what I mean? And the laws that keep you civil within the area that you're living in. Some people going to get too caught up in spookism with this conversation. I don't want to go there with you. You know what I mean? You cool. You feel me? So I know on Super Bowl Sunday, y'all, we're going to give y'all about, it's 11:45. We ain't going to hold you much longer.
Right, we gave him some fireworks, we wanted to give him some fireworks. They had the fireworks in the Super Bowl. We got some fireworks tonight,
Black History Month, you heard me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't got to beef about these books. I read all these books. I like to read.
I'm not going to kiss. I just want to explain that what is and what, you know what I'm saying, what it's coming from. But anything that you can read that will help you connect closer to you, not to the world, then that's what you're supposed. Right.
That's what you're supposed to do. It's not anything you're reading on an EXO with an EXO in front of it, and you're going outside of yourself to try to gain something outside of your family or on a level of people that really sustain you and really love you internally on that unconditional level. Then you're tapping into something that's really exoteric from you. They might give you something just to deceive you with them on some shit that's not really what it is. But if you're following something on your own path and your journey and what you pursue and your happiness and love and unity with the higher power and your family being unified, that's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a different situation. And I don't think people understand that. And they knew that. That's why I take the middle path. When they say, 2 to 3 path, I'm gonna take the middle. But at the same time, we got one more. What's we got next, real quick? We can get out of here. We can get out of here, damn it. I'm gonna bring you back for this conversation, bro. This is only the beginning of it. You know what I mean? I had to just bring you back. And cause I told everybody I'm gonna bring you back. Shout out to Almond Essence. He couldn't make it. I know Super Bowl son. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But I shout out you in Louisiana. And before I do my last joint, what we got next, real quick, and then I'm gonna let you tap in with what you got going on in Louisiana. You heard me? What's poppin'? All right, Adam Codman. It's a 10-minute joint. Is that the last one? Oh no. Leave that for next time. We're gonna make. I'm gonna say that for him next time.
That's deep. That's 17. That's
yeah. I'm ready over tonight.
That ain't a short clip with him. My brother said.
Look. Hey, I'm running behind tonight. You feel me? Super Bowl got everybody behind tonight. So I gotta run. Hey, it's my fault, y'all. I apologize. I take accountability. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of clips. You heard me? Playing. And sometimes I try to be on a timing level so we can keep it for everybody to get it a certain way. You know what I mean? From all this information. Everybody read what they read. You know what I'm saying? We just enlighten people on what they call Black History Month about people, what they good and bad and ugly.
Yeah.
See, because today it's the same way, good, bad, and the ugly. So back then it don't make no difference.
Yeah.
Some people were able to take that straight path. Few actually are able to take that straight path. And most of get distracted with something along the side of the road to the path of glory, as they call, or victory. Your son, the Teferet, Doth, and the Kether, the crown of the Torah.
That's
the
right.
Crown of the divine law that allows you to move in harmony that, as they call the middle means. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You see, I understand what you mean. Because me and you done talked about it. You know what I mean? The 10 laws, the 10 Sephirot. You know what I mean? But I just don't want nobody trying to act like it wasn't dark-skinned people.
Oh yeah,
white people
that were doing horrible things. No, we did some horrible things, and we still doing it.
That's that. That's all. Because some people try to get in this spooky shit and be like, "Oh no, well we were Hebrew Israelites, and Them people did that. No, nigga.
No.
Excuse my
And you
French.
still
It's black
doing
people
it right
never
now,
understood.
and
Right,
you
nigga, we
still
doing it.
doing it right now. You good, man. You still doing it. I just want to say this one thing because I know we're about to wrap up, and I don't want to lose it out of my mind. You know, if there's anything I could give anybody that sees any clips of this, man, when we talk about all this information, know one thing, that the world wants to not have to feel no pain. Every book that's written about mysticism, about religion, about text doctrine, is all trying to help people not have to go through hard times, not have to go through pain and hurt. How can you work the world, work the system, go to this doctor to get you love, go to this cabal to harness your powers? Everything is about us not feeling no pain. And that's not what the Most High has stated. The Most High has stated that we went away from him, and as long as we're away from him, we're going to be in pain. So the world offers us all kinds of ways to circumvent that pain, whether it be religion, whether it be cocaine, whether it be dope, whether it be whatever, women, gambling, whatever it is.
Mary Jane, you heard me? Yeah.
Mary Jane, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, which I partake in, right? It's the world gives us everything to circumvent and to make us feel better about the pain, or tell us there's an actual way that we can not have to go through no pain at all. But the Most High says, until we come back unto him, these prophecies are going to continue, because every time man tries to get a wiggle room, he don't take an inch, he don't take a mile, he take every goddamn thing he can take. And we live in a world that says, get all you can get, take all you can take, and make sure nobody see you taking it. We have to just understand things are contradictory to how we should be. If we accept our sacrifices and our pains as our level up, and commune and get with our community and build with our community, and not be afraid of what we gonna lose to build. If we really look at it from that, man, our sacrifices helping us build up, I think we can win, man.
Look, man, on that note, we're gonna win, because see, me and you, we come from East and West Florida.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
So, hey, tell them what you got popping, man. Whatever you want to disclose to the people before we get out of here tonight, man. I appreciate you pulling up on us.
Hebrew State of Being, man, is every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, man. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I can't get a strong signal from where I'm at, so I can't really do YouTube like my brother. So I'm so appreciative and humbled anytime he asks me and allow me to come on and talk. So, a lot of people don't do either one, Facebook or Instagram, but that's under Hebrew State of Being. You can search and you can find me under that, under Glenn Chayil Jones. Other than that, man, we are trying to put together a movement down here. We are trying to do edutainment, right? So that means educating our community with a little bit of entertainment, because we have to realize that educating ourselves and teaching ourselves is the only way we're going to come out. This world is never going to teach us what we need to break these yokes off of our neck. So we got festivals, we got clothing line, Aboriginal Carnival Inyans on Instagram. You can check us out. We got No Bow, which means won't bow down. It speaks about our Aboriginal and Hebrew connections. So Hebrew State of Being or Aboriginal Carnival Inyans, because Carnival is the practice that is done across Africa, South America, Caribbean, and North America, specifically in New Orleans, every place that was colonialized, every place that what me and my brother was talking about tonight, where they came and ran Hebrews and put us in jail and indoctrinated the Aboriginal of that land, and then put us together. That's all colonized, all the Portuguese, the Spanish, the French, all of them. Every place they went, we have Carnival. So if it's Latinos, it's our people that celebrate this. We celebrate it when we don't know who we are. We celebrate it as being a part of other things such as Mardi Gras. We lose who we are. So this whole concept and movement that we have down here and calling ourselves Aboriginal Carnival Inyans is going back to who we are definitively with the verbiage. Just like my brother has the Moorish Society, it is about us giving us the proper titles and educating each other on what those titles mean, the depth of it, the historic aspect of it, and then supporting it. So that was a lot.
No, that's real talk. And that's why, we talked about the Maroons, and they were all these cultures and Latinos that came over
Maroon
here.
Society. I said more. That's it. Moorish Society or Maroon Society.
You said Moorish. I don't know.
But forgive me, man. Maroon Society, my brother. I'm so
I had
sorry.
a feeling you was on that. I'm like, I'm keeping up with you. You see, I ain't jumping none. I was just like, okay, he said more.
Yeah, I appreciate you get that leeway.
And say him, let him know, I know it's Maroon Society, but we on the same page though. Because you know what? Some of the Maroons could actually be subscribed as Moorish because of the fact that the Ladino language would lead that they have a mixture, and some of them could be speaking more of the persuasive Arabic side of it, and some of them can be speaking more of the Aramaic side of it, but as the Hebrew religious idealism of how they go about their traditions and certain shit. You feel me? So that's what I don't get caught up in no more. Now that I understand that, I leave that alone. You feel me?
Me too.
Black History Month. That's what we, as they label us, disenfranchised or Frenchy, free people of color, with all of our mixtures of indigenous, European, and African. For those who find it, you know what I mean? Because I ain't banging on nobody. Because them Africans came before 1775 and they mixed into this population. They mixed now, goddamn. You feel me? But at the end of the day, I keep it simple. I appreciate you for tapping in with us.
You know the funny thing, before you get off of that, man, right before on that Amori, I love how you brought all that from the Aboriginal, but as we're talking French, I just thought it was interesting that the word for love in French is amore, right? It is amore.
Yeah, the beloved people, my guy. You hear me? A Macario, a Macaris. I can say it a couple of different ways. The Morgarakan, you heard me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can say this word in many different ways. Moreno, you heard me?
Yes.
I dated a Puerto Rican back in the day. No bullshit. So, you know what I mean? I know what that word means. They're beloved, you heard me?
Yes.
Nothing but love, by the way.
Oh, praise my brother. Same here. All nothing but love, my brother. I have them. Yes.
Appreciate you, man. Yo, till next time, bro.
Yes.
Have a good night.
I look forward to it. Everybody out there, man. Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Me shalom.
Yeah, man. Shalom. Yo,